such language which it found offensive and that people in high public offices should not use such unsavory language. It was also very, very brutal, in my view, at the lower court granting the maximum punishment in this defamation case. It had some not so charitable words to describe that. Give us the rationale as to what has been outlined in the judgment today.
Well, definitely, Zaka, this was a big judgment coming in from the Supreme Court bench headed by Justice B.R. Gavai, very categorically noting that, a maximum punishment to Rahul Gandhi was given without giving proper reasoning for awarding that particular punishment of the maximum nature. And that's the reason, in fact, why the Supreme Court actually went on to say that though all of these courts, whether we talk of the High Court, the District Court, which had rejected Rahul Gandhi's appeal for stay on conviction, or it was the trial court which had awarded him that particular sentence, all of them spent, pages in writing these orders and rejecting them, but none of them discussed the particular reason why Rahul Gandhi has been extended this maximum punishment. Yes, Rahul Gandhi too has been reprimanded by the Supreme Court. It's been said that his statements were not in a good taste. However, this relief has now come in for Rahul Gandhi from the topmost court of the country. Very, very clearly, the legal team of Rahul Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi himself were eyeing the Supreme Court itself for a relief. They had been constantly saying, and in various press conferences we've heard from Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, that they were very hopeful for a favourable order from the Supreme Court, which now has come in. Now the next way forward is that just a letter would be sent to, in fact, the Lok Sabha Secretariat. The Lok Sabha Secretariat will then re-give the membership of the Parliament to Mr. Rahul Gandhi. It is an almost automatic process. Nothing extreme has to be done. Not even the Lok Sabha Speaker does not have to elucidate on something else. Just a simple order of reinstatement has to be passed. Nothing has to be examined now. Just the judge, it would be told to the Lok Sabha Speaker that, this man's conviction has now been stayed and he should be reinstated as a member of the Parliament. Almost automatic orders to be passed on by the Speaker. Now, how much time will the Lok Sabha Speaker take to pass these orders is something that we'll have to wait and watch for, and also for Rahul Gandhi or the Congress party to approach the Lok Sabha Speaker as well. What time would it take is something that we'll have to wait and watch for. But definitely big judgment coming in for Rahul Gandhi, big relief coming in, and in fact a little reprimand from the topmost court of the country, clearly saying that his statements were not in a good taste. Zaka.
All right. Let me also go across to Sherin, my colleague. I believe she's joining us from the AICC office. What is the mood there? And where is Mr. Gandhi? Has anyone heard from him? Is there any plan that he would come there and speak to workers or speak to the media? Clearly, this is a big political victory for him personally, as well as, of course, for the Congress party. So where is he? And what is he telling his closest advisors? What are they telling you?
Well, Zaka, it's just a matter of 1 hour. At about 3 p.m., there is in fact a meeting that is going to happen where the Congress Tamil Nadu leaders will in fact be coming here. This is regarding the Lok Sabha strategy on a daily basis. In fact, in each state, there is in fact Lok Sabha strategy meeting that is happening in AICC office, and Rahul Gandhi was in fact very much present in all those meetings. So at 3 p.m., just a matter of 1 hour, when he will again be in fact coming to the AICC headquarters and will be meeting the supporters and leaders over here. Whether he'll be speaking to the media is, of course, we have to wait and watch for. But you can see on every nook and corner, there are in fact senior leaders who are in fact giving bites to the media. There are supporters who are gathered here in large number. KC Venugopal just half an hour back, while speaking to the media, said that they welcome the decision that has come from Supreme Court, and this is the fight of justice, and they have got justice. So I just want to ask my camera person to zoom in and show you there are Congress flags that are in fact doing the rounds here. There are sloganeering just moments ago that was in fact going on in support of Rahul Gandhi. So a matter of 1 hour from now, when about 3 p.m. Rahul Gandhi in fact will be coming to the AICC office, will be taking part in the Congress Tamil Nadu meeting that is going to be held at 3 p.m. Apart from that, 4 p.m. is when Abhishek Manu Singhvi will be doing a press conference. They are going to, of course, talk about what is the legal step, the next step, of course, when it comes to reinstating him as a member of Parliament. What is going to be the steps that they will be taking? So at 4 p.m. is when the lawyer of Rahul Gandhi will be doing a press conference. But you can see there is a lot of upbeat mood at the Congress office that is in fact happening over here. Sloganeering, people are in fact...
Truth and justice has prevailed in Supreme Court. Is जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले का हम स्वागत करते हैं और दो शब्द की मैं टिप्पणी करना चाहूँगा। सत्य में जयते, अंत में जीत सच्चाई की ही होती है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसले का स्वागत।
अच्छा, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जब ये फैसला दिया तो उस समय ये कहा कि नॉट ओनली
Reaction, in fact, from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra. She has said, and this is a quote from Gautam Buddha, she has said, three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon and the truth. माननीय उच्चतम न्यायालय के न्यायपूर्ण फैसले देने के लिए धन्यवाद. सत्यमेव जयते. This is what Priyanka Gandhi Vadra has just tweeted. Pallavi, again, I'm coming back to, where are the Gandhis? Where is Rahul? Where is Priyanka? Where is Sonia Gandhi? And what is the plan in the Congress party? Because clearly, as Sharon was reporting from the AICC office, the mood there seems to be upbeat. But how are they going to make this politically stick, given that you have the no confidence debate coming up just in a few days, next week?
I think they knew that. I think they also know, Zaka, really was going to be the result of the no confidence motion. But sometimes politics is also about posturing, and no matter what, I mean, you live each day. Politicians also live each day, and I think that's exactly what the Congress party would want to do. So, if there was one thing which was really bothering and something which the Congress leaders are very, very apprehensive about, is that what would be the political future of Rahul Gandhi. In private, Zaka, many were confident that we are going to get that relief coming in from Supreme Court, but you cannot predict court verdicts at all. So there was certainly a worry, and if you would have noticed a trend, which I'm sure you would have in the last a month or so, suddenly you see the Congress party was actually going overboard in trying to project him as the leader of the Congress party, using the Bharat Jodo Yatra Part 1 as the peg. On an every daily basis, I remember we would see, and we get to see, for example, at least 4 to 5 reels, their campaigns projecting Rahul Gandhi as being the fearless leader. So what was their plan in place? In either of the both cases, they had a plan in place. Of course, if it's a win-win, which is what it is for them today, they're going to project himself as a leader, as the tweets keep on finding out, as someone whose truth or fight for truth can never ever be quashed. But on the
Honorable Speaker with the copy of the judgment.
We have, I believe, a tic-tac, a short interview with Shubrat Pathak, who is a BJP Member of Parliament. Let's play that out, and I'll go back to our reporters right after that. Yeah.
सर, क्या आपकी प्रतिक्रिया है आज राहुल गांधी? देखिए, अब मेरा माइक ऊपर कर रहे हैं। अरे तो आपने रखिए ना, पकड़िए आप, नीचे कर रहे हैं, माइक नीचे कर लो भाई।
कैन वी डू इट इन डिसेंट वे?
यस यस,
थोड़ा आगे चलिए, प्लीज थोड़ा आगे चलिए। वन बाय वन वी विल गिव बाइट टू एवरीवन। सर, आज जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑर्डर आया है उस पर क्या प्रतिक्रिया देंगे और आप?
देखिए, 2019 में कांग्रेस के तत्कालीन अध्यक्ष श्रीमान राहुल गांधी ने कर्नाटक से, बेंगलोर से 100 किलोमीटर दूर कोलार में एक जनसभा में ओबीसी समाज का बहुत बड़ा घटक, मोदी नामधारी, मोदी सरनेमधारी, मोदी कास्ट, मोदी समाज, मोदी कम्युनिटी, इन सभी का अपमान किया था। उस समय हमने सूरत में ट्रायल कोर्ट में 2013 में ही हमने याचिका फाइल की थी। बाद में 2023 में ट्रायल कोर्ट में सभी कानूनी प्रक्रिया के बाद श्रीमान राहुल गांधी को 2 साल की सजा दी गई। बाद में श्रीमान श्री राहुल गांधी ने उस सजा के सामने सूरत के सेशन कोर्ट में कन्विक्शन स्टे के लिए याचिका दी गई थी। वहां भी उनकी कन्विक्शन स्टे नहीं हुआ। जो फैसला था हमारे पक्ष में आया। बाद में कन्विक्शन स्टे के लिए माननीय गुजरात की बड़ी अदालत हाई कोर्ट में भी कन्विक्शन स्टे के लिए उन्होंने याचिका फाइल की थी। गुजरात हाई कोर्ट ने भी कन्विक्शन स्टे नहीं किया। फैसला हमारी और आया। बाद में नामदार सुप्रीम कोर्ट में कन्विक्शन स्टे के लिए श्रीमान राहुल ने याचिका फाइल की थी। आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट में श्रीमान राहुल गांधी का कन्विक्शन स्टे किया गया है। इस कानूनी प्रक्रिया में हम इस सम्मानीय फैसले का स्वागत करते हैं और आने वाले दिन में जब अब सेशंस कोर्ट में ये मुकदमा हम चलने वाला है, वह हमारी ओर से, समाज की ओर से कानूनी जंग जो है वो लड़ी जाएगी। आज का जो भी कानूनी प्रक्रिया में जो भी सबजुडिस मैटर था, उस पे जो बात हुई है, इसके बारे में हमारा एडवोकेट श्री हर्षित टोलिया जी आपसे बात करेंगे।
Supreme Court has raised the issue that the trial court, why did the trial court give the maximum punishment? What do you have to say on that?
The court has said that the trial court has awarded the maximum punishment, but the sufficient reasons are not assigned to award the maximum punishment. That was the view of the Honorable Supreme Court. That's the decision of the Honorable Supreme Court in the order which is passed today. Leave is granted. And it is also stated that we are at liberty to request, both the parties are at liberty to request the first appellate court to expedite the appeal. So today whatever the order is passed, that order we do respect and we do accept the same with the fullest respect. And this is the short issue on which today the order is passed.
What happens to the disqualification?
Disqualification, again, that would be an operation of law. So right now I would not like to make any comment and let it be left to the discretion of the Parliament and under Section 8 of the Representation of People Act.
The Supreme Court, while granting a stay on this conviction, said that the trial court did not give any kind of a reasons for granting the maximum punishment, and I think that became the sole ground for granting this particular relief. How do you comment?
True, that's correct. That's the sole ground on which the order has been passed.
Court had also made certain observation that it was in bad taste, his statement. What do you have to say on that?
Court has observed that the statement was in a bad, no, it was not in a good taste, and he ought to have been more careful. That's what the Honorable Supreme Court has observed for Shri Rahul Gandhi.
सर, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कई सवालिया निशान उठाए हैं गुजरात सेशन कोर्ट पे, ये कहते हुए कि 2 साल की सजा क्यों दी और आधार भी कोई नहीं बताएगा, इस पे आप क्या कहेंगे?
इट्स अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ लॉ. द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, ये तो लॉ की प्रक्रिया है और कायदा में जो भी लिखा हुआ है, भारतीय दंड संहिता में या फिर क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर कोड में जहां पे जो लिखा हुआ है, उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो किया है उसके आधार पे आज लीव ग्रांट की हुई है एंड द कन्विक्शन इज स्टेड.
सेशन कोर्ट में अभी मामला अपील आप लोगों की पेंडिंग है, कितनी जल्दी आप लोग चाहेंगे कि उस पर फैसला हो?
वो तो कोर्ट पे डिपेंड करता है. हाई कोर्ट हैज ऑलरेडी एक्सपीडाइटेड द अपील. आज नामदार सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी बोला है कि वी आर एट लिबर्टी टू रिक्वेस्ट द कोर्ट फॉर एक्सपीडाइट हियरिंग ऑफ द अपील. तो मतलब द ऑर्डर इज ऑलरेडी पास्ड, सो वी विल टेक द कॉल इन द फ्यूचर एट एन अप्रोप्रिएट स्टेज एंड अल्टीमेटली इट्स फॉल इन द रियल्म ऑफ द कोर्ट. वो तो सेशंस कोर्ट को तय करना है कि केस कितना जल्दी सुनना है, कब सुनना है.
राहुल गांधी के वकील की तरफ से कहा गया है कि
माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अंतरिम निर्णय ने न्यायपालिका और न्याय व्यवस्था में आम जनमानस के विश्वास को और मजबूत किया है. सत्य की जीत हुई और सुप्रीम कोर्ट यानी के द्वारा दिए गए निर्णय के बाद जो मंदिर है सबसे बड़ा प्रजातंत्र का, संसद के गलियारों में.
Supreme Court. So do you think that there will be more blockage now that he has to approach the speaker, he has to go to the secretary Lok Sabha?
How can it be? That's why I'm telling entire world is looking on speaker now. How much time is going to take? He disqualified him within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, he disqualified him from the Lok Sabha. Now we are, the country and the world is seeking how much time they're going to be. I think our request to the speaker to take its action immediately.
Have you approached the speaker and the secretary?
I think our leader of the party is already approaching.
Will he be shifting to the new house?
Okay.
All right. So that was KC Venugopal speaking to CNN News 18.
All right, you heard from Purnesh Modi, the complainant in this case, his lawyer. You heard just moments ago from K.C. Venugopal, one of the closest confidants of Rahul Gandhi in the Congress party, also the organizing general secretary of the party. But clearly for the Congress party, for Mr. Rahul Gandhi, this is a big fillip. No doubt about it. Politically, it's a huge fillip, and so it is legally, because the court has also chided the lower court for ordering the maximum punishment, that of 2 years, in a defamation case. It did say, though, that people in high public offices like Mr. Gandhi should refrain from using such unsavory language. He had, of course, asked why all the people with the Modi surname happen to be thieves. This was, of course, at a campaign rally before the 2019 election in Kolar in Karnataka, which led to a 2-year sentence by the lower court, by a trial court in Gujarat, which was upheld by the Gujarat High Court. And now the Supreme Court of India, in a bench headed by Justice B.R. Gawai, has stayed the conviction, stayed the order. What this now means, it paves the way for Mr. Gandhi to approach the Lok Sabha Secretariat, the Speaker's office, and ask for him to be reinstated as a member of parliament. Now, let me go back to Pallavi. You heard from K.C. Venugopal there a moment ago saying that Speaker's office, the Lok Sabha Secretariat, was in a hurry to disqualify Mr. Gandhi within 24 hours of the lower court order. He was disqualified as a member of parliament. Will they show the same alacrity in reinstating his membership to parliament? That's the question the Congress is asking. If the Speaker's office takes its own sweet time, says it needs further legal consultations, what is the Congress's strategy then?
See, Sir Zaka, there is a little procedure which is involved here. First of all, what happens is the Speaker has to get that petition or appeal coming in on behalf of Rahul Gandhi that his membership should be reinstated. But it also has to be with a copy of the Supreme Court order. And that order, it also depends at what time it is going to be made available to to Rahul Gandhi and his entire legal team. Then the procedure, what they are telling us from the Speaker's office is, then they have to go to a Speaker's office, then they're going to make that petition. And these things take a day or two time. Today is Friday already. We have the weekend here. So if the earliest reinstatement takes place, it can happen only on Monday or by Tuesday. So as far as the Speaker's office is concerned, they are saying we don't do politics over it. We merely follow the procedure. In fact, the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi was also on the basis of a law which was passed, a procedure which was passed. But I guess they also understand that as political parties, the Congress party would want to do politics over it. I think the pressure will now start mounting that Rahul Gandhi should enter parliament by Monday, and at least on the day of the no confidence motion to be taken up by the 8th, Rahul Gandhi should be present inside the Lok Sabha. That is something which is topmost priorities. In fact, at 4 o'clock when the press conference takes place by Abhishek Manu Singhvi as well as by Jairam Ramesh, I think these are the points which are going to be stressed upon. I'm just waiting to get some more word from my colleague Ananya whether that the court order has already been given formally over to a legal team, because then the next step will be taken approaching the Speaker's office with the plea that Rahul Gandhi should be reinstated as a member of parliament.
I also want to go to Ananya because, what is the legal precedent here? Karti Chidambaram, I was speaking to him some time back, and he says that there is the case of the Lakshadweep MP who was also similarly disqualified basis a conviction. The conviction got stayed by the Supreme Court, and it is Karti Chidambaram's contention that he was automatically reinstated. So what is the legal precedent here when members of parliament and their conviction is stayed by a court of law? What happens to their membership? Ananya.
Well, Zaka, this is exactly very similar to what Mr. Karti Chidambaram was also saying. It's almost automatic. Only thing that has to be done is that the Congress office will now have to give a letter to, in fact, the Lok Sabha Speaker that, the Supreme Court has passed certain order, and this order copy has to be sent to the Lok Sabha Speaker, and automatically the Lok Sabha Speaker will pass an order that, the parliamentary membership is retained of Rahul Gandhi. It would be given it back to him. Nothing has to be examined. Nothing has to be seen by the Lok Sabha Speaker. Just formal orders have to be issued. Nothing has to be examined. Nobody has to be called upon. It's just that order has to be sent to the Lok Sabha Speaker and immediate orders can be passed. So as soon as the Congress's legal team, as I believe, would receive this particular order copy, they will be going to the Lok Sabha Speaker. They will be filing a letter to the Lok Sabha Speaker along with a copy of this particular order and would say that, see, this is the order that's been passed. The Supreme Court has stayed the conviction. Please retain our parliamentary membership, and then the same would be retained by the the Lok Sabha Speaker itself. A formal order would be passed, and Rahul Gandhi would be back into the Parliament. So this can happen quickly, but keeping in mind the weekends coming in, we might see that even the Supreme Court order sometimes takes time. But as we've seen, and not even a request for a Dasti order was made. That means immediate order copy of that particular case was made by Mr. Singhvi. We might see that the orders might come in by evening, which is the general procedure at the Supreme Court, and they're usually uploaded on the Supreme Court website, and then the orders can be sent to the Lok Sabha Secretariat. Or what could have also been done is that a letter can be written to, in fact, the Lok Sabha Speaker that the Supreme Court has passed this formal order in the open court, and a detailed order copy is to come out shortly, and then please retain a parliamentary membership, and then the order copy can be sent in later. But the clear strategy what the Congresses would be adopting is something that we will get to know when Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi actually addresses a press conference at 4:15. But definitely, out of these two methods, one of them would be obtained, and then parliamentary membership of Rahul Gandhi can be retained. Now, no bar is there. Nothing can actually stop Mr. Rahul Gandhi from getting back his parliamentary membership. It is just a formal order. It's just a procedure that has to be done by the Lok Sabha Speaker for Rahul Gandhi to actually come back to the Parliament, and probably seeing the time at which this particular order was passed, it is very, very likely that on Monday Rahul could be back to the Parliament itself. Zaka.
All right. Let's also play out, I believe, Ramesh Chennithala, senior leader of the Congress party from Kerala. I believe Shirin, my colleague, has spoken to him. Let's listen into his reaction on this order.
With us, former opposition leader Ramesh Chennithala here. Mr. Chennithala, the Supreme Court has stayed the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. What is your first reaction?
The truth will prevail. The Supreme Court has given a very important question, that whether this kind of a speech will be considered for the ultimate punishment of 2 years. That is the question which we were raising from the very first day. So the highest court of this country is convinced that the magistrate court of the Surat has crossed.
Now to Mahesh Jethmalani, Supreme Court lawyer, who is now joining us, Member of Parliament. Mahesh, Zaka Jacob here. Your first reaction to the court today, the Supreme Court staying the conviction of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, in fact also chiding the lower court for awarding the maximum sentence in a defamation case. Your first reaction?
No, it didn't chide the lower court for giving the maximum sentence, but it chided the lower court. It said the lower court hasn't given reasons why the maximum sentence was awarded. There's a distinction between that. The maximum sentence, if justified properly with reasons, could have been applicable in the instant case, but because they found that the reasons given by the lower court were not adequate for imposing the maximum sentence.
What happens now? Congress leaders we've been speaking to are insistent that the Speaker will have to immediately, forthwith, restore Mr. Rahul Gandhi's membership of Parliament. Do you reckon that that process should be almost automatic now that the court has stayed his conviction?
Yeah, I don't think anybody should delay it anymore. I don't think so. Because once there's a stay of conviction, I have respect to the Supreme Court decision. They should allow him to come back on the next parliamentary day if possible.
What is the legal precedent here? I believe there was the case of another member of Parliament, I believe from Lakshadweep, who had a similar case. There was a conviction. The conviction was stayed, and then his membership was reinstated. So, what is the legal precedent here?
There is a legal precedent. I mean, you don't need a legal precedent for this kind of. If a stay of conviction is granted, then the effect of such a stay is that the disqualification ceases, at least for the time being, till the appeal is disposed of.
So, do you believe, politically speaking, Mahesh, now that you are wearing two hats, that the Congress and Mr. Rahul Gandhi would be keen to come back before the no confidence debate begins in the Lok Sabha next week and, speak, if possible, in that debate?
Well, I can't speak for the Congress and Rahul Gandhi, how keen they are to get him back to Parliament, but he's certainly entitled to get back at the earliest possible, on the earliest possible day that Parliament reconvenes. That's all I can say. But
no, I was asking that question more from the point of view that clearly the Prime Minister will speak in that no confidence debate. So would the Congress want to make this into a Rahul versus Modi contest again as the debate progresses in Parliament?
Well, I mean, I for one would welcome such a contest, if you can call it a contest at all.
Okay. All right. Mahesh Jethmalani, thank you very much for joining us. Senior Supreme Court lawyer and, of course, Member of Parliament, Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani there with his thoughts on... all right. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, the leader of the Congress in the Lok Sabha, is speaking. Let's listen in.
आज हमारे देश की सर्वोच्च न्यायालय इस मुद्दे को संज्ञान लेते हुए राहुल गांधी जी को आज बड़ा राहत देने की फैसला की और इसी के चलते आज राहुल गांधी जी के खिलाफ जो बेबुनियाद तथ्यों पर साजिश किए गए थे वो आज विफल हो गए और इसी दरमियान हम स्पीकर साहब से मिले, सदन के अंदर ये बात उठाई कि हमारे नेता राहुल जी को फिर दोबारा सदन में आने की इजाजत दिया जाए। उनकी सदस्यता पद खारिज करने की जो मुद्दा था उसको रिवोक करते हुए राहुल गांधी जी की सदस्यता पद पुनर्बार उनको सौंपा जाए, क्योंकि वो सदन में आए और अपने बात रखे। हम चाहते हैं कि सरकार के खिलाफ जो अविश्वास प्रस्ताव हम लाए हैं उसी में राहुल गांधी जी खुद शिरकत करे और हिंदुस्तान के आम लोग ये सुने कि कैसे किस तरीके से राहुल गांधी जी के खिलाफ आज सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी ने निष्ठुर तरीके से साजिश रच रही है। सारे दुनिया को ये उजागर होना चाहिए। इसलिए सदन के अंदर बात रखे, स्पीकर साहब से मिली, अब चिट्ठी भी लिखूंगा और बीच में आके आप लोगों को सामने भी ये अवगत कराना चाहते हैं आप सबको कि राहुल गांधी जी की सदस्यता पद दोबारा उनको वापस दिया जाए। इसके लिए हम अपना गुहार लगा रहे हैं। सरकार और सदन सब मिलके ये सोचे कि राहुल गांधी जी की ये वापसी जल्द से जल्द हो। ये सदन की दीवारों में ये लिखा रहते कि हमारे संविधान में भी ये लिखा रहते कि सत्यमेव जयते। आज राहुल गांधी जी की ये राहत साबित कर दे रहे हैं, ये प्रतीत हो रहे हैं कि आज सत्य की जय दोबारा हुआ है। राहुल गांधी जी ये सत्य का प्रतीक है। राहुल गांधी जी की ये जीत सत्य की जीत है और ये राहुल गांधी जी अगले तारीख ये साजिश के खिलाफ और ये सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी के खिलाफ आंधी बनकर उतरेंगे और हिंदुस्तान में एक नया दिशा दिखाते हुए ये सरकार को सत्ता से हटाने की हर संभव पहल शुरू किए जाएंगे। राहुल गांधी जी आ रहे हैं। मोदी जी आपको सावधानी बरतना चाहिए।
अभी मुलाकात हुई?
हाँ, मुलाकात करके आ रहे हैं आपके पास। उनका ये कहना है कि जो कोर्ट से जो पेपर वगैरह है वो सारे जजमेंट आने दीजिए, मैं जरूर कार्रवाई करेंगे। और हम भी ये कहें कि देखिए ज्यादा देर ना करना, नजदीकी तो है सुप्रीम कोर्ट, ये कागजात जल्द से जल्द जरूर आ जाएंगे क्योंकि हमारी तरफ से भी तत्परता रहेगी, लेकिन इसमें सरकार की तरफ से टालने की बहुत सारे कोशिश किए जा सकते हैं। तो इसके लिए हम स्पीकर साहब से एक गुजारिश किए हैं हमारी पार्टी की तरफ से कि जल्द से जल्द अगर सारे कागजात आपके हवाले जब आ जाएंगे, आप इस पे निर्णय लेने में थोड़ा दिलचस्पी दिखाएंगे, यही हमारा आपसे मांग है, उम्मीद भी।
एक मिनट मैं बोलना चाहूंगा। So far I'm neither here nor there. All of you know. हेलो, लेकिन ये
आइए एक मिनट हाँ V for victory! V for victory!
All right, so there you heard from Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, the Congress leader in the Lok Sabha. He has just met with the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Om Birla, and asked him to expedite this process forthwith. The Speaker has said that he's waiting for the detailed order of the Supreme Court. Once that order comes, Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury claims that the Speaker told him that he will proceed forthwith to reinstate Mr. Rahul Gandhi as Member of Parliament. So as we are getting these political reactions, if you're just joining us here on CNN News 18, a quick reminder of this big story. The Supreme Court of India has stayed the conviction of Congress leader Rahul Gandhi in the Modi surname defamation case. Remember, a lower court in Gujarat more than 3 months ago had convicted Rahul Gandhi of defamation and sentenced him to 2 years in prison. That order was upheld subsequently by the Gujarat High Court. Today, over 3 months later, that order has been stayed, that conviction has been stayed by the Supreme Court of India, paving the way for Rahul Gandhi to be reinstated as Member of Parliament in the Lok Sabha. And the timing of it is quite interesting, because if it does happen in the next few days, then it means that Rahul Gandhi will be able to come back to Parliament as early as next week and take part in the debate on the no confidence motion that has been moved by the Congress party against the Modi government. We'll take a quick break, but this story and everything else that's happened in India and around the world coming up right on the other side.
Whenever I had.
And Rahul Gandhi's Modi surname defamation case has reached the apex court of the country. The Supreme Court at the moment is dictating the order in that very case on the remarks. Remember, Rahul Gandhi had earlier said that it's bizarre to ask me to apologize in the Modi surname case. Today, the Supreme Court has taken up the case that has reached the apex court at the moment. They are now dictating the order. Let's take this across to my colleague Pallavi Ghosh, who's joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, this is the last-ditch attempt for Rahul Gandhi. We will get to know whether or not that entire conviction stays in this case. It's a big day for him. What are you learning that's coming out of the court?
In fact, we are waiting for the final order to come through, but my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar, who is very much inside the court, is awaiting, and he's giving us some information. And just to quote from what he has given, that basically, according to what he's reporting, is that the court has said that the appeal filed by the appellant is pending in the Sessions Court, and so far as the stake of conviction and sentencing is concerned, we have considered some factors. So we're just going to wait for what Ananya has to give us some more. But it's certainly going to be a very, very big day for Rahul Gandhi. His political future also hinges on this. Remember, consistently Rahul Gandhi's lawyers have made the point that he never actually said anything against any community. He was talking specifically in the context of Lalit Modi and Nirav Modi, both of whom do not belong to the OBC community. And second, the punishment given out to him is in far excess of the so-called crime. If you remember the last hearing which took place in Supreme Court, Rahul Gandhi through his lawyers had clearly made the point, I am not going to be apologizing because I have not said or done anything wrong. What does it really mean? In case the conviction is scratched, he could be reinstated as a member of parliament. So far, no by-elections have been declared from his constituency of Wayanad, and therefore his political future hinges on this. In case his conviction is not scratched, then he can no longer contest elections for at least 6 years, which means at least for 6 years he doesn't enter parliament, and that will always be like a sword hanging over his political future.
Also, Pallavi, the Supreme Court had earlier made a remark that why was a maximum sentence in this particular case was given, because defamation really attracts a 2-year of maximum sentence, and that was slapped to Rahul Gandhi. All of that is being considered today. Of course, like you're mentioning, this is a big attempt and a big day for Rahul Gandhi. It's practically going to be defining his political future, and that there are constant deliberations that are coming out of the court, from what our colleague Ananya has been reporting. What can we expect today?
So there's more information which is coming in, and this is okay. Supreme Court stays the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. That's the big news which is coming in. Ananya Bhatnagar has just got this news for us.
This is a big breaking news. Yes,
a huge relief for Rahul Gandhi.
All right, so we will just put this out for our viewers. Supreme Court.
Welcome back. You're watching the breaking news show right here on CNN News 18, and we are continuing to cover what is a huge victory for the Congress party as the Supreme Court stays Rahul Gandhi's conviction in the Modi surname remark Rao. We're going to take a deeper dive into the case, their details, and what the Supreme Court has had to say. But for now, let's check in on the mood in the ground. We're taking you first to Chennai in Tamil Nadu, where my colleague Purnima is on the ground. She'll tell us about the mood in the Congress offices there. Purnima, over to you. All right, we'll look to re-establish that connection with my colleague. We'll have reporters joining us both from Delhi and from Tamil Nadu and other parts of the country to understand how the Congress is marking this occasion. Remember, as we told you just a few minutes ago, the Supreme Court has stayed Rahul Gandhi's conviction. We're going to walk you through different reactions. Then in a little while, we'll talk you through what the legal implications, the political implications of this are. First, take a look at reactions coming in both from the Congress and, of course, the BJP. Take a look.
जो ऑर्डर कोर्ट ने पास किया, कोर्ट ने बेसिकली क्या है कि जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव पीपल एक्ट का जो धारा 8 का जो सबसेक्शन 3 है, उसमें 2 साल का प्रोविजन है. यदि 2 साल से 1 दिन की भी सजा कम हो जाती है तो ये जो सेक्शन 8(3) सब सेक्शन अप्लाई नहीं होता है. और जब नहीं अप्लाई होता है, ट्रायल कोर्ट ने जो 2 साल की सजा दी है उसको उन्होंने डील नहीं किया. आखिर मैक्सिमम सजा 2 साल की क्यों दी है? क्योंकि जो 499 है उसमें जो सजा का प्रोविजन है वो 2 साल, फाइन या बोथ है. और इसमें जो 2 साल की सजा दी है, 2 साल की सजा में ट्रायल कोर्ट ने उसको जस्टिफाई नहीं किया है बेसिकली कि 2 साल की सजा आखिर क्यों दी गई है.
Sir, a very happy day for the Congress party as Supreme Court has passed an order in favor of Rahul Gandhi.
No, that's wonderful news, and I think Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah are going to have a lot of sleepless nights. Mr. Modi is not going to come to Parliament, I'm sure now. Few days back he came from outside, waved his hands and went off. It's a victory of, the truth. They have troubled Mr. Gandhi. They have done everything possible. And Mr. Gandhi has only shown grace. You saw the way he immediately vacated his house. He has never said an ill word against anybody. But I think the India Alliance now, it's a big victory for democracy. I would like to thank, there is justice in this country, and I would like to thank all the people who have supported. We very delighted with the judgment, with the Congress legal team which also put it up. But most important, I think, is there's going to be sleepless nights for the NDA for sure, because Mr. Gandhi is back and stronger.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट में श्रीमान राहुल गांधी का कन्विक्शन स्टे किया गया है. इस कानूनी प्रक्रिया में हम इस सम्मानीय फैसले का स्वागत करते हैं और आने वाले दिन में जब अब सेशंस कोर्ट में ये मुकदमा हम चलने वाला है, वह हमारी ओर से, समाज की ओर से कानूनी जंग जो है वो लड़ी जाएगी.
Okay. Let's check in on our reporters that are bringing us reports from around the country. First, right here in Delhi, my colleague Shireen, who's at the AICC headquarters. Shireen, obviously the next big question is how quickly Rahul Gandhi will be reinstated as the MP. But for now, let's stay with this news. What's the mood in the Congress headquarters right now?
Well, just moments from now, Rahul Gandhi is going to, in fact, come to the AICC headquarters. Now, for the past 2-3 days, there have, in fact, been Lok Sabha strategy meetings that has been going on. Yesterday, it was the Kerala Lok Sabha State Lok Sabha strategy meeting that was going on. Day before yesterday, it was Karnataka. In all these meetings, Rahul Gandhi was very much present. And today, it is the Tamil Nadu Congress committee, Pradesh committee, that is going to be here at 3 p.m. And Rahul Gandhi is going to attend that meeting. Now, I want to show you what the arrangements are being done right now is that because there are a lot of supporters who have gathered at the lawn of AICC headquarters, and the media is also in fact here in large number. The center part of the AICC headquarters where Rahul Gandhi will be coming is being cleared out. The security is in fact beefed up. So clearly there is going to be a lot of celebration the moment he comes from 10 Janpath. Right now, because he was disqualified as an MP, he had to in fact vacate his residence, and then he moved to 10 Janpath at Sonia Gandhi's residence. So from there he will in fact be coming here any moment. The mood here is absolutely celebratory. We are seeing that the sweets were being distributed, the flags of Congress party is in fact doing the waves here, and lot of Congress spokespersons and MPs have in fact reached over here, but all of them are in fact a bit reluctant to speak because they all want Abhishek Manu Singhvi to first in fact talk about the legal aspect of as far as the case is concerned, and after that the Lok Sabha, the other spokesperson will in fact be speaking. Now, what we are getting to know here is that the moment the order copy will be received by the legal team of Rahul Gandhi, they will in fact be approaching the speaker, and accordingly they will be wanting a reinstatement of Rahul Gandhi as the member of parliament. Now, when we spoke to a number of senior leaders here, all of them has been saying that the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi took 24 hours. In mere 24 hours, he was disqualified. Now we have to see how much time will it be taken by the speaker to reinstate Rahul Gandhi, and the world is watching is what the claim of the Congress party is coming here at the moment. So very celebratory mood over here in AICC headquarters. 3 p.m. is when Rahul Gandhi will be coming to the AICC headquarters. 4 p.m. is when Abhishek Manu Singhvi will be addressing the press conference. Back to you.
Shireen, tell our audiences, you said right now that people at the AICC headquarters are still hesitant to comment. They're waiting for Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who is also obviously a senior lawyer apart from being a Congress leader, to come and clarify some details of the order. Can you tell our audiences what parts they are?
Well, when it comes to the technical areas, it has in fact been told by the senior leaders to all the spokesperson that they don't touch the legal technical part because it's a matter of, it's a matter is sub judice, and it is in fact was in front of Supreme Court, and the trial is in fact also happening in the Gujarat High Court and Session High Court. So clearly it is a matter of a very sensitive matter, and hence the legal technical terms or that part should not in fact be discussed is what has been told by the senior leaders. Apart from that, when we talk about the BJP, the politics, the spokespersons are of course talking. The legal part is of course what is going to be the next move, when are they going to approach the speaker, and most crucial part is the Wayanad seat. What is going to be the future of the Wayanad seat? When is Rahul Gandhi going to attend? Because in this, when all this case was in fact happening, when he was disqualified, not once he went to Wayanad. So whether now that is going to happen, when is the reinstatement of Rahul Gandhi going to happen? Because a number of leaders here has been saying that this is happening at the right time, because they expect that by Monday he will be reinstated to the parliament and he might be able to speak during the no confidence motion discussion. So that is of course the hope of the leaders here at the Congress party. We have to of course see whether the process will move as fast as possible, and whether, like the leaders here has been hoping that by Monday Rahul Gandhi will be reinstated in parliament, whether that will happen or not. But once again I want to just show you the atmosphere here is celebratory. The slogans are being raised. Any moment from now, from 10 Janpath, Rahul Gandhi will in fact be coming towards the AICC headquarters for the Tamil Nadu Congress meeting. But all the supporters and the leaders are in fact waiting to support Rahul Gandhi over here at AICC headquarters.
We can hear some of those slogans in the background, Shireen. That's my colleague Shireen Elizabeth with us from the AICC headquarters. A battery of reporters are on the ground bringing you updates from across the country. How is the Congress receiving this very exciting news for their party? We'll continue to bring you updates. Right now, that's all that we have for you. We'll see you after this short break. We're continuing to keep an eye on these developments.
Rahul Gandhi. It's a big relief for Rahul Gandhi in the Modi surname defamation case is concerned. What has happened is the Supreme Court has decided to stay the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. So that disqualification from the Parliament also now can be taken away, and there you have it. The maximum sentence was given by a Surat court, which is now being stayed by the apex court of the country. Supreme Court there staying the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. Big relief for the Congress leader. Remember, this afternoon is when the Supreme Court had started hearing the Rahul Gandhi case, where it was challenging the Gujarat High Court's verdict that declined to put a hold on his conviction in the defamation case over the Modi surname remark. Earlier this year, Rahul Gandhi was disqualified as an MP for his comments that were linked to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Remember, he had made those comments while he was in Gujarat 2 years ago in 2019, in fact, and that defamation case was filed from I believe in Bihar, and that's where in Gujarat, and that's how the case really reached the Surat courts. And after
initially onwards that this is the maximum punishment to disqualify Rahul Gandhi from the Lok Sabha. Entire episode was started when Rahul Gandhi speak about Adani-Modi relations in the Parliament. Now, Supreme Court also, I think, in the interim judgment, granting stay, conviction stay, they also telling that this maximum punishment is actually something to disqualify.
Are you
also
happy with that order, sir?
Definitely, you know that we are believing the legal procedure of this higher system. What we got from Gujarat, this is totally a different verdict.
सर सुप्रीम कोर्ट की ओर से आज जो राहत मिली है राहुल गांधी को, लंबे समय से कांग्रेस पार्टी मांग कर रही थी, क्या कहना है सर आज जो ये वर्डिक्ट आया है सुप्रीम कोर्ट का?
We will, our spokesperson will give details. Don't worry. First reaction is already we are welcoming this decision of stay of conviction.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, so that was the first reaction from
my colleague Ananya is now joining us live from outside the court premises. Ananya, there's a big piece of news for Rahul Gandhi and the supporters of Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party. Next step is that he's going to be reinstated in the parliament, but right for now, the apex court staying that conviction of Rahul Gandhi that was held by all the other courts, the Gujarat High Court and before that the Surat court. Just take us through all of that that has happened inside the apex court today.
Well, definitely the Supreme Court had heard this matter for a long time today.
Hello and welcome to CNN News 18 with me Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Breaking news coming in when it comes to the Gyanvapi legal tussle, ladies and gentlemen. The hearing has begun in the Supreme Court. The matter is being heard by a bench headed by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud. The Chief Justice of India says that it's an interlocutory order. Why should any interference happen at this stage? The Chief Justice of India has said every interlocutory order cannot be challenged on the same ground. Now, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta is now taking the court through how the survey would be conducted. Remember, the Archaeological Survey of India has said there will be no excavation, and scientific technology and scientific methods will be used to focus on what is the character of the entire site. There will not be any excavation which could damage the Gyanvapi complex. This was a concern that was raised by the Muslim side, but the ASI has made it clear in a sworn affidavit to the court saying that every action that will be taken for this survey will be scientific in nature. There will be no excavation. Ground penetrating radar and other technologies will be used to ascertain the character of the entire site. I'm joined by my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar, who's tracking all the developments when it comes to the legal tussle of the Gyanvapi complex. Ananya, over to you.
Well, definitely the Muslim side, senior advocate Huzaifa Ahmadi is trying to make every argument possible to in fact stay this particular survey, but the Supreme Court does not seem very inclined to do so today. It is saying that, not every interlocutory order, that is interim order, cannot be challenged on the same ground. Mr. Huzaifa Ahmadi was actually on the ground of Places of Worship Act and altering of the religious characteristic of a particular, religious place. And he said that, if at all there is a survey, the religious character would be hindered with, and the Supreme Court was not in the way of it, doesn't seem to be in the way of it. The Solicitor General then came in saying that, no kind of a damage would be caused to, in fact, the structure of the Gyanvapi, and there would be not even a brick that would actually be entailed or be, hindered with, is what the Solicitor General is saying. The arguments are still continuing before, in fact, the Chief Justice of India's bench, and we'll still wait for the final orders to come in from the topmost of the country. Whether or not it's staying that particular order is something that we'll just get to know in a few minutes from now. Whether the survey would continue or not is something that the Supreme Court will completely give an answer to today in a clear yes or a clear no. But what it seems like from the arguments that are going on, there might not be a stay, but however, certain direction or certain tweaking could actually take place as to how this survey has to be conducted. Ayushman.
Right, but at the same time, Ananya, as you were also pointing out, the ASI has said that all scientific methods will be used and no excavation will be done. There won't be any damage to the site. All ground penetrating radar and other techniques will be used to ascertain the character of the site. But the masjid side has pointed out the sensitivity argument when it comes to this entire survey. Take us through that.
Well, definitely, Ayushman, I will take you through that. But first, what Justice J.B. Pardiwala is actually saying at this right point of time is that, see it this way. Your point is that why take this survey when the suit itself is not maintainable? You're supposed to every survey itself. This survey will be in form of a report. Tomorrow, if you succeed on the maintainability, it will just be a piece of paper. So basically, what Justice Pardiwala is trying to say, and he has questioned that, are we at a stage when irreparable damage would be caused? He questions. So what Mr. Pardiwala, Justice J.B. Pardiwala, who's one of the judges on the bench, is basically trying to say is that what harm would a survey actually cause? He's trying to understand it from Mr. Ahmadi that, what kind of a harm would it cause if at all a survey actually goes on? It's at the end of the day, finally a committee report. It is a report that would be there. And if at all the Muslim side succeeds that the suit is not maintainable itself, then the complete thing falls on the ground. Then the survey would have no value. It would just be a report, is what Justice J.B. Pardiwala is trying to say. But the arguments are still going on. And as you were pointing it out, Ayushman, the Archaeological Survey of India is very, very categorically stated before the Allahabad High Court. And now the Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, also appearing on behalf of the Union of India and the Archaeological Survey of India, has clearly contended that, this is something that would not harm the structure of the Gyanvapi mosque and will in fact be not touching even a single stone there on that particular ground. So we'll have to wait for the final orders to come in. The exchange is still going on. We'll wait and see as to what is happening at the Supreme Court and what is the court actually trying to say at this particular point of time. Mr. Ahmadi is still continuing with his argument, clearly saying that the sum and substance of the order is that there existed a structure below that hundreds of years ago. My submission is that going back in the past is precisely what was sought to be injuncted by the Places of Worship Act. So basically he's trying to say that, going back to the past is something that the Places of Worship Act prohibits. It's basically the Places of Worship Act says that whatever is the religious characteristic of a particular place at 1947 was, except for the Ayodhya case, because the Ayodhya case was before, in fact, the court even before 1947, and that's the reason why Section 5 of the Places of Worship Act actually excludes the Ayodhya Babri Masjid dispute from the Places of Worship Act. So that does not apply, in fact, to the Places of Worship Act, and that's the clear reason why Mr. Ahmadi is constantly trying to argue that, this is something that should not be done. It would alter the religious characteristic of this particular place of worship, and we'll have to wait for the final orders to actually come in.
Right, but when it comes to the Hindu side at the same time, Ananya, take us through their arguments when it comes to countering these arguments surrounding the Places of Worship Act. And at the same time, I think that's the main point that the masjid side is raising, that you are affecting the sensibilities of Muslims by going through the survey. But the courts and even the Hindu side has made it very clear that to get to the truth when it comes to the complete religious character of this place, that is the need of the hour.
Well, definitely. Hindu side is yet to argue before the topmost court of the country. But what Mr. Ahmadi at this point of time is saying that in the other SLP related to the Fountainhead, undoubtedly the Solicitor General told your lordship that he was concerned about the carbon dating, etc. But the application was for scientific survey. So what he's trying to say is that, in the other SLP as well, that is the other petition as well before the court already, the carbon dating might damage the structure, but he's constantly trying to persuade the court that, a survey should not take place at this site. But also we have to understand that this survey has been going on since 7 in the morning. It's almost, 3-2. Here and we'll have to wait as to if at all this survey would be allowed to continue, or whether the Supreme Court would be ordering in the favor of the Muslim side or would be making certain tweaks with this particular survey. So we'll have to wait and watch for that, but the arguments still continue at this point of time before the topmost court of the country. This is the bench headed by Chief Justice of India Dr. Justice Dhananjay Yashwant Chandrachud, also comprising Justice J.B. Padiwala and Justice Manoj Mishra, who is hearing this particular case, and the Muslim side is currently arguing. The Solicitor General also gave a view as to how this survey has to be conducted.
Absolutely, and the ASI has made it very clear that scientific techniques will be used. There will be no excavation at the site, and ground penetrating radar and other scientific techniques will be used to figure out what is the exact characteristic of this entire Gyanvapi site, because the Hindu side, says that a temple was raised to build a mosque, but the Muslim side makes it very clear that you are tampering with the sentiments of Muslims. At the same time, as per the Places of Worship Act, its religious character does not matter because of what happened in 1947, because that is the line that the Places of Worship Act, sets in place. But Ananya, at the same time, as we were pointing out, this entire sensitivity argument that is coming in from the Muslim side, this is something that they are saying will have far-reaching impacts in other places across the country, and that is why any survey that could hamper, that is the argument from the masjid side, that could hamper the religious characteristic of this place is something that should be avoided. Right. We'll try to reconnect with Ananya over there. We're getting a piece of breaking news now, and this is when it comes to the investigation into the anti-Sikh riots of 1984. Now, the Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court has allowed anticipatory bail that was moved by Congress leader Jagdish Tytler in the case of the killings of Sikhs in the Pul Bangash area in 1984. Now, the Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court has allowed anticipatory bail that has been moved by Jagdish Tytler. What we are learning is that he furnished a bond of 1 lakh rupees. The court has further said that he should not tamper with evidence. So that's the piece of breaking news that's coming in, where he has been granted anticipatory bail after furnishing a bond of 1 lakh rupees. The court further said that he should not tamper with any evidence. So interim relief for Jagdish Tytler, who is facing a lot of heat when it comes to his alleged role in the Pul Bangash killings of 1984. Remember, many witnesses have said that he was the one who led the mob which led to the deaths of Sikhs in the Pul Bangash area in 1984. He has given the defense that he was not there at the site or when those killings took place in Pul Bangash, but now he has been granted anticipatory bail by Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court. Ananya continues to be with us. He's getting us the latest on this story as well. Ananya, over to you.
Well, yes, the Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court, a special judge, Vikas Dhul, has now granted this relief to, Mr. Jagdish Tytler into this particular case. Remember that he had to appear before, in fact, the Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court tomorrow, that is, August 5, as summons were issued against him. However, now this interim protection, this anticipatory relief has now been granted to Jagdish Tytler. Whether or not the CBI pertains to challenge this before, in fact, a higher court is something that we'll have to wait and watch for, and a detailed order copy is yet to be out in order to check as to what are the conditions that have been imposed on Jagdish Tytler while this anticipatory bail has been granted, and to also know the reasons why the court feel as to how and why Mr. Jagdish Tytler is to, granted this particular relief. But remember that Mr. Manu Sharma, senior advocate appearing for, in fact, Jagdish Tytler, has argued very consistently for a long time before the special judge is that, Jagdish Tytler has been out in open since the last 40 years. It's almost 4 decades have passed. CBI had filed various closure reports, and now finally again a change of stance has come in from the Premier Probe Agency, and a charge sheet has been filed against him. He had also argued that the witnesses in this particular case have changed their stance after 39 years, and so this is something that is fishy, and a relief should be granted to his client, Mr. Jagdish Tytler. However, all of these submissions were opposed by, in fact, the victim's lawyer, and in fact, if you remember, on the last date of hearing when this anticipatory bail application was being heard by, in fact, the special judge, the victims, even before the hearing could start, actually started crying before the judge and demanded justice against Tytler and to deny any kind of a relief. They were trying to press the court, but now finally the orders are out, and very, very clearly Jagdish Tytler has now been granted bail in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots Pulbangash case. So how things proceed on from now on would be clear from the order copy that would be coming out in a short while from now. But this is a big relief coming in for the Congress leader.
Right. Thank you, Ananya, for getting us that piece of breaking news. Now we're getting some more breaking news coming in after the Supreme Court stayed the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. Now sources close to the Lok Sabha Speaker reveal that after the order reaches the Speaker, now as per the procedure, he will examine all the provisions related to this case. Now after examining all those provisions, he can decide when to reinstate Rahul Gandhi's membership. That is the piece of breaking news that's coming in, where what we are learning from sources close to the Lok Sabha Speaker, after the order reaches the Speaker, that is Om Birla in the Lok Sabha, now as per the procedure, he will examine all of the provisions when it comes to this entire saga surrounding Rahul Gandhi's conviction, and then after examining those provisions, he can decide when to reinstate Rahul Gandhi's membership. So that is what top sources close to the Lok Sabha Speaker have said. Now remember what the Supreme Court said, that the learned trial judge in the order passed by him has awarded the maximum sentence of 2 years except the admonition to the petitioner by this court in a contempt proceeding. No other reason has been granted by the learned trial judge while imposing the maximum sentence of 2 years. So that's what the Supreme Court had said. It said that except the admonition of the petitioner by this court in a contempt proceeding, no other reason has been granted by the learned trial judge while imposing the maximum sentence of 2 years, particularly when the offence was non-compoundable, bailable and cognizable. The least which was expected from the learned trial judge was to give reasons for imposing the maximum punishment. So these are what the details which are coming in from the Supreme Court, and now top sources close to the Lok Sabha Speaker say that once the order reaches the Speaker, as per the procedure, he will examine all the provisions. I'm joined by my colleague Pallavi Ghosh on the phone line. Pallavi, when it comes to reinstating Rahul Gandhi as MP, decode this for us. Is this completely discretionary when it comes to the role of the Speaker?
See, there's a rule book which is followed. For example, when many people targeted the Speaker's office for a disqualification of Rahul Gandhi, at that point of time, they had also made it very clear we don't work according to our discretion. We work according to what the rule says. And the law, as we know, Ayushman, makes it very clear. If you're convicted for more than 2 years, you are disqualified as a member of parliament or as an MLA, whatever the case may be. The Speaker followed the procedure then. The Speaker is going to follow the procedure now. But he cannot do anything. He cannot take the next step forward till he doesn't have a court order. The court order's copy has to be given to a Speaker. In fact, when we did speak to the Congress party legal team a short while back, they have yet to receive the court order. Once they receive the court order, a copy of that is going to be attached along with an application on behalf of Rahul Gandhi asking for him to be reinstated. It's then given over to a Speaker, and normally the precedence is that the Speaker reinstates someone who has been disqualified on the grounds of a conviction. In this case, since his conviction only has been stayed, the government sources say we are not going to nitpick. We are going to be following the rule book, and therefore reinstatement is something which is going to be done according to the provisions of the law.
Right, so this is clearly a technicality that the Speaker is waiting to receive the order and then the automatic process will take place. But on a political point of view, Pallavi, this has really boosted the India alliance with now putting Rahul Gandhi front and center against the NDA.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, if you look at the entire legal procedure and strategy of the Congress party and also the India alliance, what is it their main pitch? Their main pitch, one, vis-a-vis Rahul Gandhi has been his crime was not such that he had to be disqualified. So this is yet another example of the government arm twisting the institutions for their own political benefit. Also, the second big pitch of India Alliance, which they have made it clear in Patna, they also made it clear in Bengaluru, is how ED, CBI, judiciary is all being used to target the opposition leaders. This is going to be seen as a moment of Satyameva Jayate, to use the words of the opposition parties, and they are going to make this pitch that, the more you try to silence us, the law is going to be with us. So this is going to be a political pitch of Rahul Gandhi, the Congress party, which I'm sure you're already watching on the social media timelines, but also of the next India opposition front when they're going to be meeting up in Mumbai in the first week of September.
Right, but Pallavi, at the same time, as you're pointing out that, of course, it's a technicality and he's likely to be reinstated anytime soon, with Rahul Gandhi at the front and center of the India alliance because he'll be at the helm of the Congress offensive against Prime Minister Modi, does that complicate the leadership of the India alliance?
It's very interesting and significant you really say that, Ayushman, because that's exactly the point which may arise. Because, if you look at the Congress's campaign, more than the focus on the Congress president, the focus has been on Rahul Gandhi, whether it's the animations, whether the films they are making, whether the Instagram reels and all of that they make, it's all Rahul Gandhi centric. His Bharat Jodo Yatra snapshots, projecting him as a leader who is fearless, who's taking on the system. In fact, even today, since morning, the entire social media platform was abuzz with many reasons out by the Congress officials, projecting by the fearless legal win is seen as a political win by the Congress party, and they're going to use this legal political win to make the point that if there's anyone who comes across as single-handedly taking on the Prime Minister without compromising is actually Rahul Gandhi. So the Congress would very carefully, and I think in a nuanced manner, want to make the 2024 battle of Rahul versus the Prime Minister.
Right, I'm also joined by Sharon on the broadcast. Sharon, what is the latest coming in from the Congress camp? A huge booster when it comes to the India alliance, but also to Rahul Gandhi, which the Congress party aims to, aims to pitch against Narendra Modi in the run-up to 2024.
Well, the mood here at the AICC headquarters is very upbeat. I want to ask my camera person to show you what is really happening over here. In the AICC headquarters lawn, you can see that how people in large number, the supporters of Rahul Gandhi, supporters of Congress have in fact gathered here in large number. And moments from now, Rahul Gandhi is going to in fact reach the AICC headquarters. Now, at 3 p.m. is when we were told that there is going to be a meeting of Tamil Nadu Congress committee that was regarding the Lok Sabha strategy. Yesterday the meeting was of Kerala. Day before yesterday it was of Karnataka Lok Sabha strategy meeting that was happening. And all these days we have seen how Rahul Gandhi was in fact coming here, and that is why once again there are a large number of supporters who have gathered to get the glimpse of Rahul Gandhi, to celebrate with him. In fact, a number of senior leaders, if I ask my camera person to zoom and show you, you can see how there are in fact Congress Rajya Sabha MP Nasir Hussain, apart from that GB Mehtar, and also leaders of Congress party, Shrupriya Shrineth, Imran Pratapgadi, all of them have in fact gathered over here awaiting Rahul Gandhi to in fact come here. The security has also in fact beefed up. All these supporters have in fact been asked to come to one side. So any moment now Rahul Gandhi in fact will be reaching over here. Of course, the next step, as far as the next step is concerned, for that there is going to be a press conference by Abhishek Manu Singhvi, but the leaders here have in fact been telling us the moment they get the order copy, they will be approaching the speaker and they in fact will be seeing that whether there is going to be any more blockade from the speaker's side. As far as the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi was concerned, the Lok Sabha speaker only took about 24 hours to disqualify him. Now to reinstate, how much more time will he take is the question that is going to be asked by Congress party, is what they are saying. Now that the Supreme Court has in fact given this order, as soon as possible Rahul Gandhi should in fact be reinstated is the demand of the Congress party at the moment. In fact, they have been saying that hopefully they will be seeing Rahul Gandhi on Monday in Parliament, and they are also in fact hoping, expecting that when the no confidence motion will be taken up, Rahul Gandhi will be allowed to speak in Parliament. So if Abhijay Arjun could show you, that is in fact the door that connects the AICC headquarters to 10 Janpath. Now 10 Janpath is the residence of Sonia Gandhi, and after his disqualification, the 12 Tughlaq Lane, which was the residence of Rahul Gandhi, he vacated that particular residence and he moved to 10 Janpath. So any moment, this is the door from where Rahul Gandhi in fact will be coming here. Whether he will be speaking to the supporters, whether he will be speaking to the media is something that we have to wait and watch for. But at 4 p.m, Abhishek Manu Singhvi will in fact be putting out what is going to be their next course of action as far as the reinstatement of Rahul Gandhi is concerned.
Right. So, a hero's welcome for Rahul Gandhi at the AICC HQ. That is what is expected. Now, let's listen into the reactions coming in from the Congress camp after this stellar boost to Rahul Gandhi, whose conviction has been stayed by the Supreme Court.
Your first reaction to the decision by the Supreme Court to stay Mr. Gandhi's conviction. What does this mean? Does this pave the way for him to come back as Member of Parliament?
We always knew that the Supreme Court will render justice. The ruling of the trial court was excessive. The endorsement of the High Court was bizarre. And this was a reverse engineered case. This should have never reached this stage. And I'm very, very glad that the Supreme Court has rendered justice. Yes, this paves the way for Mr. Rahul Gandhi to come back to Parliament. I hope the Speaker will not delay the process and Mr. Rahul Gandhi will be back in Parliament on Monday. And there is a precedence to this for the Member of Parliament from Lakshadweep who went through a similar process and his membership was restored. And I hope this will be done in quicker time.
Speaker has to decide because ultimately the sort of disqualification of his membership as MP came from the Speaker's office.
No. It did not come from the Speaker's office. There is no conviction, so the membership is restored. There is a legal precedent. The member from Lakshadweep went through a similar exercise just a few months ago. So in fact, the Speaker, if he is going to delay it, will again have to knock the doors of the Supreme Court. And I hope that doesn't happen. And I hope that Rahul Gandhi will be back in Parliament on Monday morning.
Today's judgment that people occupying high public offices, in this case Mr. Gandhi, should not use such language. That's been said in the court's order.
I'm not sure whether that's part of the order or whether it's obiter dictum, but Mr. Rahul Gandhi is an experienced person in public life. He will take the well-meaning advice of the Supreme Court to heart, and he knows the import of his words, and I'm sure that he will take that into consideration in the future.
Your first reaction to the Supreme Court staying the conviction of Rahul Gandhi?
I think it's a testament to our judiciary that the Honorable Supreme Court has given this ruling. It also goes to show that the entire time the Congress party and Mr. Gandhi insisted on the fact that we have full faith in our judicial system. And this case, that was the first time in 100 odd years that a defamation case was given a full sentence and disqualification was to follow. But the Supreme Court's verdict today has really will be remembered for a long time in the way, despite all the things that were said and perhaps some other politics involved in it, but the courts have lived up to their reputation and it has again restored the great faith that we have in our judicial system. I think the Honourable Speaker is also bound by what the court has now said. I don't want to go into how hastily the disqualification was done, how it's vacated. It smacked of political interference, but I will not go that far. I think the Speaker will certainly do what is rightful.
The court has also opined today in its order where it said that people occupying high public offices like Mr. Gandhi should refrain from using such language.
Again, I won't comment on the wordings of what the court has said, but I think that holds true for all of us. But Mr. Gandhi and all of us have clarified that this was not against any individual per se. But public discourse, by and large, I think needs to maintain a certain standard of discourse, and that's appreciable. But the conviction and the lower courts, high courts, etc., acting in a way that perhaps was not prudent, the court has certainly shown us the way. I think the Supreme Court's verdict is a great welcome.
In your first reaction to the Supreme Court's decision today to stay the conviction of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, do you believe this paves the way now for him to be reinstated as Member of Parliament?
It hasn't paved the way. That is the righteous thing to do. The justice has been served. The arbitrary way in which this entire sentence was pronounced and his disqualification procedure also moved simultaneously, and asking him to leave his home, the 12 Tughlaq Lane house, was also done with a lot of glee. Now that all of that will have to be reinstated because of the Supreme Court order, and I just think it's justice served, and it would be the Speaker's responsibility to ensure that he resumes his responsibility as a parliamentarian representing the constituency of Wayanad, Kerala, which had gone silent because of his disqualification.
But do you believe, what options will the Congress or Mr. Gandhi have if the Speaker were not to take a quick decision?
So there is no other option but for the Speaker to do the right thing to do the correct thing. The speed at which he moves with regards to the disqualification, which he said is automatic as soon as it is pronounced, whether the punishment quantum is pronounced. At the same way, it would be a super fast mechanism to reinstate it now that the Supreme Court has given its decision. So we would assume that as fast as Monday, he would be able to resume his responsibilities as a member of parliament.
One thing we are telling initially onwards, that this is a maximum punishment to disqualify Rahul Gandhi from the Lok Sabha. Entire episode was started when Rahul Gandhi speak about Adani-Modi relations in Parliament. Now, Supreme Court also, I think, sir, in the interim judgment, granting stay, conviction stay, they also telling that this maximum punishment is actually something to disqualify.
Are you happy with that order, sir?
Definitely, you know that we are believing in the legal procedure of this higher system. What we got from Gujarat, this is totally a different verdict.
Okay.
First reaction is already we are welcoming this decision of stay of conviction.
We welcome the Supreme Court decision. The truth and justice has prevailed in Supreme Court. इस जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले का हम स्वागत करते हैं और दो शब्द की मैं टिप्पणी करना चाहूंगा, सत्य में जयते। अंत में जीत सच्चाई की ही होती है और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसले का स्वागत।
The judgment and order of the Supreme Court of India today has once again re-established the faith of common people of the country in the Supreme Court of India, in democracy and constitutionalism, and in the fundamentals that truth shall prevail. The truth has prevailed today. Satyamev Jayate. Rest assured that the roar of truth of Shri Rahul Gandhi will once again be heard in the biggest temple of democracy, in the corridors of parliament, holding the government accountable to 140 crore Indians.
We cut back to the AICC HQ where Sharon is reporting live as Rahul Gandhi is expected to arrive at the AICC HQ any time now after his stellar victory when it comes to the staying of his conviction by the Supreme Court. Sharon, what is the latest from the AICC HQ?
These are the visuals that we are bringing to you from this gate that actually connects the AICC headquarters to 10 Janpat. Now, you can see the Delhi Pradesh Congress Committee President Anil Chowdhury is in fact standing there, and behind me there is in fact full celebration going on where there is in fact dhol and nagadas being in fact is being used by the supporters over here. Crackers also in fact being burned over here. So clearly a celebratory mood at the AICC headquarters. There are posters here like Gungi Sansad Hui Bahal Aa Gaya Rajiv Ka Lal. So this is the posters with which the supporters have in fact come here. Full celebratory mode. Any moment from now, from that gate, Rahul Gandhi in fact will be entering. All senior leaders, MPs have in fact, almost all of them are in fact present over here because they all have in fact been saying from day one they have been maintaining as far as Supreme Court is concerned and as far as this defamation case is concerned, they believe that they will not be getting any relief from the session court or from the Gujarat High Court. They always believe that from Supreme Court they will be getting a relief because this case doesn't hold any stand as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, and that is exactly what happened. We have seen how the senior leaders have in fact welcomed this order by Supreme Court, and all they want to see is Rahul Gandhi coming to the parliament on Monday. Now, as soon as possible is what they have been saying that the procedure should be done. The moment they will get the order copy, they will be approaching the speaker and he should be reinstated into the parliament as soon as possible. So you can see dhol and nagadas, sweets, Congress flags, all are in fact awaiting at the moment for Rahul Gandhi. Supporters here have in fact reached here in large number. On my right side, you can see Shakti Singh Gohil also in fact reaching over here to welcome Rahul Gandhi. So all leaders are in fact going towards that particular door which connects AICC headquarters to 10 Janpat, and from there Rahul Gandhi in fact will be coming. So all leaders are in fact waiting over there for Rahul Gandhi to come over here and from here on the meeting of course will be happening, but we have to see whether Rahul Gandhi will be speaking to the media, will be coming and talking to his supporters over here. But meanwhile, at 4 p.m, there is going to be a press conference that will in fact be addressed by Abhishek Manu Singhi. So, after a long time, we are seeing a lot of celebrations that are happening at the AICC headquarters. All supporters here waiting to get a glimpse of Rahul Gandhi.
Right, and those scenes you can see, it's a celebratory mood at the AICC HQ. You can hear the dhols over there. You can see the firecrackers and the top leadership of the Congress party at the AICC HQ as Rahul Gandhi is set to get a hero's welcome. Now, Sharon, we've also seen reactions coming in from other members of the India Alliance. They're very happy and they've welcomed the Supreme Court order. But now Rahul Gandhi will be front and center when it comes to the India Alliance's offensive against the NDA. Is there going to be any complications surrounding that? Because we have seen how the other parties of the India Alliance have not been too keen of Rahul Gandhi being front and center when it comes to taking on the NDA.
Well, if you remember, this was the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi issue was something which actually brought all opposition leaders together, because when there was in fact in the last session, when the parliament session was on, is when Rahul Gandhi was disqualified as the member of parliament, and there were in fact parties like BRS, there were Aam Aadmi Party who were not really part of the opposition meeting at that point. But the moment Rahul Gandhi was disqualified, we have seen the protest at Vijay Chowk, we have seen back-to-back meetings of opposition parties where not just the Aam Aadmi Party, the BRS also in fact took part, because they believe that as far as disqualification of Rahul Gandhi is concerned, that is something that they condemned altogether. So of course this is a welcome move by all the opposition parties at the moment. We have seen leaders from Shiv Sena, Priyanka Chaturvedi, we have seen TMC also. Apart from that, other leaders also in fact of the India Alliance actually welcoming this move from the Supreme Court, saying that this order is very much welcome. So clearly there is, at the moment, there is no differences when it comes to Rahul Gandhi, and that is why we are seeing that there are in fact number of leaders who have in fact gathered here. Huge celebration that is in fact going on at the moment. The leaders are all awaiting Rahul Gandhi to in fact come over here. Now this meeting is in fact about Tamil Nadu Lok Sabha strategy meeting, and though Rahul Gandhi was disqualified as a member of parliament, he was in fact coming to AICC headquarters, attending all the meetings. Though he never went in this, the entire episode, he never visited Wayanad, which is his constituency. Now, of course, we have to see the first visit after being reinstated as the MP. When will he be visiting Wayanad? What is going to be the reaction of the people over there? All that is, of course, awaited. But now, with the celebration going on, all eyes are on that door that connects the AICC headquarters to 10 Janpath, from where Rahul Gandhi is believed to be walking in to the AICC headquarters, awaiting all these dhol, nagadas and celebration at the lawn of AICC headquarters.
Also, Sharon, at the same time, we've learned from sources close to the Lok Sabha Speaker that the Lok Sabha Speaker is yet to receive the order. He will look at the different provisions and then take a decision on reinstating Rahul Gandhi. Now, as per the rule book, it should be an automatic process, but is there fear within the Congress camp that this could be delayed?
Well, they are not actually. Of course, I asked this question to KC Venugopal also, and he in fact said that, of course, this should in fact be an automatic process. But given the fact that this is BJP and there could be more blockade, but they are ready to fight it out. Now, while Karti Chidambaram also in fact spoke to CNN News 18, he also said that the entire process should be smooth. But as far as the BJP is concerned, we have seen the Congress party believes that Rahul Gandhi was in fact immediately disqualified as a member of parliament within 24 hours. Now they are awaiting that how much time is it going to take as far as his reinstatement as a member of parliament is concerned. Now, of course, all the leaders who have gathered here all have been saying that they are in fact expecting just 1 week is left. 11th August is the last day of the monsoon session to end, and the no confidence motion is also going to be taken up. Now, they believe that in this last week, they are very much hoping that Rahul Gandhi will be coming to parliament. He will be reinstated as a member of parliament. So, whether they will, of course, will be any sort of blockade. That is something that will be cleared in the press conference that will be addressed by Abhishek Manu Singhvi, whether there is going to be any more technical knots that needs to be cleared as far as his reinstatement is concerned. But like the sources have been suggesting, the moment the order copy reaches the speaker, the decision now lies with the speaker, and if there is any sort of delay from the speaker, that is something that will be taken up by the Congress party legally as well as on the streets, is what the Congress leaders here have been saying, that they will approach the Supreme Court over the delay of reinstatement if that happens. Secondly, they will in fact be protesting across the country for the reinstatement of Rahul Gandhi. So once again, I just want to, for our viewers, I want to show you the mood at AICC headquarters. Now, the last time we have seen this kind of celebration was when Congress party won the Karnataka elections. There was, in fact, a lot of celebration that was happening at the lawn, and exactly that is the mood that is being seen here today at the AICC headquarters, where all the supporters in large number are, in fact, awaiting Rahul Gandhi to, in fact, come over here. Let me try to speak some of the supporters here. आप कहाँ से आए सर? कितनी दूर से आए?
मैम हम दिल्ली से ही आए हैं और हमको जैसे ही खबर मिली है हम सीधा यहाँ पे AICC आए हैं राहुल जी का साथ देने, राहुल जी की सपोर्ट में।
तो अब आपको लगता है कि राहुल गांधी पार्लियामेंट में आ जाएंगे वापस? कैसा ये फैसला कैसा दिखते हैं आप?
इस फैसले का हम स्वागत करते हैं और ये फैसला पहले भी गलत लिया गया था, बहुत जल्दी में लिया गया फैसला था, कोई पारदर्शिता नहीं थी इस फैसले में, और मैं समझता हूँ ये देर आए दुरुस्त है, और मैं ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट का बहुत बहुत धन्यवादी हूँ जो उन्होंने ये ऐतिहासिक फैसला लिया है और राहुल जी को ये राहत दी है।
लोकतंत्र की जीत है, सीधी बात कहे तो तानाशाही चल रही थी और उस पर करारा प्रहार है, गाल पे तमाचा है। जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अपने जो वक्तव्य दिए हैं लेकर आपका सेशन जो आपका मेट्रोपॉलिटन मजिस्ट्रेट ने जो 2 साल की अधिकतम सजा दी है उस पर उन्होंने खुद ने सवाल उठाया है कि उस पर एक ये नहीं बताया गया किस लिए दिया गया है।
मैक्सिमम पनिशमेंट पे सवाल उठाया गया है। If I ask my camera person to follow, that is where all the dhol and nagadas are in fact going on, where in fact Congress workers are in fact sloganeering in support of Rahul Gandhi, awaiting him to reach the AICC headquarters. So full celebratory mode at the AICC headquarters with sweets and nagadas. So a celebration that's in fact started at about 12:30 continues here at the AICC headquarters.
We're also getting a reaction from Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. Now, let's get to that.
राहुल गांधी जी का अभी सुप्रीम कोर्ट का निर्णय आया है, तो हम तो रोज कह ही रहे हैं आपको, ये जो फासिस्ट लोग हैं, जिस प्रकार से आज चिंता लगी हुई देश के अंदर माहौल बना हुआ है, उसमें आप देखिए कि डिफेमेशन केस के अंदर आजादी के बाद में पहला राहुल गांधी है जिसको 2 साल की पूरी सजा मिली है लोअर कोर्ट में। हाई कोर्ट के फैसले को तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने धज्जियां उड़ा दी, उस फैसले की तो उसको खारिज ही कर दिया। हाई कोर्ट के फैसले को, हाई कोर्ट का फैसला आपने देखा होगा जो आ रहा था उस वक्त में खबरों में क्या क्या लिखा फैसले के अंदर, क्या बैकग्राउंड बताया राहुल गांधी का, कहाँ कहाँ इनके केस चल रहे हैं, कर रहे हैं, ये काम हाईकोर्ट का होता है। तो कहने का मतलब कि सारे काम सही दिशा में जा रहे हैं, राजस्थान की सरकार बनने जा रही है।
I'm also joined by Pallavi Ghosh on the broadcast. Pallavi, I'm reading this tweet from Gaurav Gogoi, who is saying, PM Modi government made a historic blunder. I give credit to Shri Rahul Gandhi ji for staying committed to the truth. The verdict has lent more strength to the voice of India. So, just about a week left for Parliament to continue. Is the Congress teasing some fireworks that we can expect in Parliament?
Well, I think so. When Parliament reconvenes on Monday, it will be very much a charged up Congress party, and also as far as the India Front Alliance is concerned, but more so even if Rahul Gandhi's membership is reinstated either by Monday or by Tuesday. Tuesday, as we know, is the day when a no confidence motion begins in Lok Sabha, and in an ideal situation, the Congress party would very much want Rahul Gandhi to be a part of those deliberations and also to take on the Prime Minister and the BJP. But you know, if you look at the reactions not just coming in from the Congress, but many of the constituents of the India Front, whether it is coming in from the Samajwadi Party, whether it's coming in from, the other political parties for that matter, the Shiv Sena, the Uddhav Thackeray faction, all of them are seeing this as a win. If you look at the larger perspective beyond the Congress party, for the India Front or for the sake of opposition unity, they are seeing a legal political win as a huge win in a political match against the BJP and against the Prime Minister.
Right, but Pallavi, like we were discussing, this is now a state of euphoria for the India alliance. But down the line, will the political reality set in? Those complications can't be ignored.
Well, I mean, see, at the end of the day, in politics, you take each day as it goes. And today, of course, the Congress is going to see as their day. But the no confidence motion, when the Prime Minister is going to respond to it, is going to be seen as the Prime Minister's day. And at the end of the day, when you win elections, how you win elections, I guess that really matters the most. But it's also about building up a political narrative, which both the sides are going to do. I mean, the words of the Supreme Court, where they cautioned Rahul Gandhi to be more careful with his words, is certainly going to be used up by the BJP. If today the Congress party is looking at today's verdict and also Rahul Gandhi's possible entry into Parliament next week as their big moment, I think BJP is going to be waiting for 10th when the Prime Minister responds to a no confidence motion as their big moment. He always has, you know, I mean, I remember the last time the no confidence motion came up from the TDP, the Prime Minister really completely viciously, vociferously attacked the entire opposition. And look, the no confidence motion comes very close to the state elections coming up, and then of course there's a big build up to Lok Sabha elections, and possibly this is the second last term, full-fledged term really of the Parliament. And I think the Prime Minister is going to seize that entire opportunity, just as the Congress party is seizing their present moment, even as we wait for Rahul Gandhi to enter the Congress headquarters premises. So both the sides are going to use this occasion to their own advantage.
Right, and Pallavi, I remember when Rahul Gandhi was convicted by the court in Surat, the biggest criticism against the Congress party was that there was no public resonance of the conviction. Congress workers were out on the streets, but the public, there was no outrage from the public against what had happened to Rahul Gandhi or against the Modi government. Now that his conviction has been stayed, is that a political reality that the Congress still has to deal with, that there was no public resonance to what happened to Rahul Gandhi, and when it comes to building the narrative, that could be a challenge?
See, I think the biggest challenge always for the Congress in recent times is that, kind of enthusing your cadre. I think that's a very important requirement for any political party to start doing it well in terms of elections. You must have noticed after the Karnataka win, which was seen as a huge win, particularly because it was a straight fight between the Congress and the BJP, the cadre was very enthused, but it also has to be backed up by electoral performance. We always have spoken about the Bharat Jodo Yatra. I think there was a twin purpose behind it. One, of course, was to redeem the image of Rahul Gandhi, to come out of what tag he had been given of a Pappu mold. And the second, of course, is that how do you ensure that the states through which the Congress party's yatra travelled through, or Rahul Gandhi's yatra travelled through, and many of those states, mind you, were the ones where the Congress did not have a very good organization. Now, when we look at Bharat Jodo Yatra 2.0 also, it's going to be travelling through many of those states where the Congress doesn't have a good organization. The main purpose of the yatra, the first part of the yatra, was one, to redeem the image of Rahul Gandhi, as I just said, and second, to enthuse the cadre. Now, that is what the Congress party is trying to do, gathering the workers into the AICC headquarters, Rahul Gandhi possibly interacting with them, and the Congress tom-tomming it as their big achievement and as a big win against the Prime Minister and the BJP. But the BJP is also waiting and watching very cautiously. I think they're letting this moment to play out. I think their big moment really is going to be on the no confidence motion. Opposition parties, of course, do know that they don't have the numbers, but the Prime Minister's, by the strength of his oration, putting facts on the floor, I think that's the big moment or the big counter which the BJP is working upon against Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party as of now.
Right, so beyond the numbers, it will be a battle of optics, at least in Parliament. Thank you, Pallavi, for sharing us the latest as the political dynamics continue and the twists and turns continue after the Supreme Court stayed Rahul Gandhi's conviction. We're going to take a quick break. More news and updates on the other side.
For almost half the pre-lunch session, and very, very clearly now Rahul Gandhi has been granted that particular relief that he had been waiting for since court to court. This was his third appeal, if you remember. First, it was rejected by the Gujarat Sessions Court and then by the High Court itself. And in fact, the District Court had also refused to stay his conviction in that particular case, though a suspension of sentence was granted. But now, finally, that relief comes in for the former Congress president. Now, what does it mean for Rahul Gandhi? Number one is that he can go back to the Lok Sabha Secretariat and say that, since my conviction has now been stayed in this particular case, please reinstate me as a member of the parliament. The people of Wayanad might be really happy because, he was representing the people of Wayanad, and the voice of Wayanad would be back in the parliament is what is the view, in the general public. And also, very, very importantly, Rahul Gandhi can now fight the 2024 elections very, very clearly. This is a big relief, a huge relief that Rahul Gandhi has been, waiting for since the last few days. Though he had, on the political spectrum, he had used this opportunity to, say, and in fact his Twitter bio also used to say that he was a disqualified MP. But now finally that disqualification can go away. He can go back to, the Lok Sabha Secretariat, can ask the Speaker and the Lok Sabha chairman to actually say that, since my conviction has now been stayed, he can be reinstated.
And Rahul Gandhi's Modi surname defamation case has reached the apex court of the country. The Supreme Court at the moment is dictating the order in that very case on the remarks. Remember, Rahul Gandhi had earlier said that it's bizarre to ask me to apologize in the Modi surname case. Today, the Supreme Court has taken up the case that has reached the apex court at the moment. They are now dictating the order. Let's take this across to my colleague Pallavi Ghosh, who's joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, this is the last-ditch attempt for Rahul Gandhi. We will get to know whether or not that entire conviction stays in this case. It's a big day for him. What are you learning that's coming out of the court?
In fact, we are waiting for the final order to come through, but my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar, who is very much inside the court, is awaiting, and he's giving us some information. And just to quote from what he has given, that basically, according to what he's reporting, is that the court has said that an appeal filed by the appellant is pending in the Sessions Court, and so far as the stake of conviction and sentencing is concerned, we have considered some factors. So we're just going to wait for what Ananya has to give us some more. But it's certainly going to be a very, very big day for Rahul Gandhi. His political future also hinges on this. Remember, consistently Rahul Gandhi's lawyers have made the point that he never actually said anything against any community. He was talking specifically in the context of Lalit Modi and Nirav Modi, both of whom do not belong to the OBC community. And second, the punishment given out to him is in far excess of the so-called crime. If you remember the last hearing which took place in Supreme Court, Rahul Gandhi through his lawyers had clearly made the point, I am not going to be apologizing because I have not said or done anything wrong. What does it really mean? In case the conviction is scratched, he could be reinstated as a member of parliament. So far, no by-elections have been declared from his constituency of Wayanad, and therefore his political future hinges on this. In case his conviction is not scratched, that he can no longer contest it.
Welcome back. As the legal debate over the Gyanvapi complex continues, the Archaeological Survey of India's survey was conducted today. The ASI team is divided into 4 teams that will check different parts of the Gyanvapi complex. This is using non-destructive techniques. Security has also been beefed up at the Gyanvapi complex. Remember, the Muslim side is worried about damage being caused to the structure. The ASI team has assured the Allahabad High Court that no damage will be caused while carrying out the survey. And breaking news coming in, the Varanasi court has given 4 weeks to the ASI to submit its report. The ASI report has to be submitted in the last week of the month. And what we are learning is that when it comes to the entire ASI survey, the district judge has given 4 weeks to the Archaeological Survey of India. ASI got enough time to conduct the survey. That is the observation coming in from the Varanasi court. The lawyer of the Hindu side had filed the application. The district judge pronounced the verdict on that application, giving 4 weeks to the ASI to submit its report. It is directed to submit its report by the last week of this month. The district judge has given that much time to the ASI. The ASI, remember, has assured the Allahabad High Court that no damage will be caused to the structure. It will use non-destructive scientific techniques to determine the religious character of the entire complex. Remember, the ASI has said that it will use ground penetrating radar techniques as well as other scientific techniques to figure out the characteristic of this entire complex. We're getting a piece of breaking news coming in, shifting focus to the AICC headquarters. Rahul Gandhi there, accompanied by his sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra as well as KC Venugopal and top leaders of the Congress party, as he gets that hero's welcome at the AICC HQ. Rahul Gandhi's conviction stayed by the Supreme Court, and now he is entering the AICC HQ as all Congress workers and top leaders of the Congress party have gathered at the AICC HQ to give him a hero's welcome after the conviction of the Supreme Court. After the Supreme Court stayed the conviction when it came to the defamation case. Those visuals on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. First visuals of Rahul Gandhi at the AICC HQ after the Supreme Court stayed his conviction in the defamation case. You can see celebrations at the AICC HQ. Hundreds of workers gathered over there, dhols being played, firecrackers being burst as well, as Rahul Gandhi makes his way into the AICC HQ, accompanied by his sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra as well as Congress General Secretary KC Venugopal. My colleague Sharon Elizabeth is reporting live from the AICC HQ. Sharon, a hero's welcome for Rahul Gandhi as he is set to return as an MP in Parliament.
Well, there is full celebratory mood at the AICC headquarters. Rahul Gandhi, along with Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, has reached the AICC headquarters, and you can see the dhols and nagaras, the supporters, all of them waving at Rahul Gandhi at the moment. There was in fact senior leaders like KC Venugopal, Adhir Chowdhury. So these are the live visuals that we are in fact bringing to you, where at AICC headquarters Rahul Gandhi has in fact reached, waving and smiling at the supporters who have reached here in large number, and there is full celebration that is in fact going on. The order came at around 12:30. Since then, there is no end to the celebration here at the AICC headquarters, and you can see now that Rahul Gandhi has reached. All senior leaders are also in fact welcoming him here, hoping that by next week Rahul Gandhi will in fact be reaching the parliament, will in fact be reinstated as a member of parliament. And you can see a lot of people have in fact gathered over here to get the glimpse of Rahul Gandhi. They all were in fact waving at Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi smiled back at them, waved at them, and now he has in fact entered the AICC meeting room, where there is going to be meeting of the Lok Sabha strategy meeting that is going to take place of Tamil Nadu state. But this is of course the celebration that started at about 12:30, seems to be not ending anytime soon.
Right, those visuals on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Rahul Gandhi entering the AICC HQ, accompanied by his sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra as well as Congress General Secretary KC Venugopal. You can see the celebrations on the right side of your screen. Now he has entered the AICC HQ. Sharon is pointing out it will be the Lok Sabha strategy meeting of the state of Tamil Nadu. Rahul Gandhi entering the AICC HQ after a stellar relief from the Supreme Court, which has stayed his conviction in the Modi surname defamation case. A grand welcome for Rahul Gandhi at the Congress headquarters, the AICC HQ. You can see those visuals on the right side of your screen, where Congress workers have gathered there, as well as top leaders of the Congress party, to welcome Rahul Gandhi after the Supreme Court stayed his conviction in the Modi surname defamation case. Sharon continues to be with us on the broadcast. Sharon, so this is a meeting of the Lok Sabha strategy of the Congress party for Tamil Nadu. But is Rahul Gandhi expected to address the Congress workers at the AICC HQ?
Well, yes, like you rightly pointed out, this is in fact the Lok Sabha strategy meeting of Tamil Nadu. Yesterday, it was in fact the Kerala Lok Sabha strategy meeting. Day before yesterday, it was Karnataka Lok Sabha strategy meeting was happening. Though Rahul Gandhi was disqualified as a member of parliament, he was very much actively participating in all such meetings, because the 5 election states that are going into elections, that includes Telangana, that includes Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. In all these states, there were in fact leaders who were called to the national capital, and all these meetings were attended by Rahul Gandhi. Now today, a similar meeting is going to happen. Right now, when he entered from 10 Janpad to the AICC, there was a huge number of Congress workers who were in fact gathered over here, and he waved at them, smiled at them. Now we have to of course see, usually such meetings take about 2 to 3 hours. Now whether after the meeting he will be coming out and speaking to the supporters is something that of course we have to wait and watch for. But the celebration here seems to be not ending at all. The celebration started started at about 12:30 nearly, when the order was in fact passed by Supreme Court. The huge relief that Rahul Gandhi got. Since then, the celebration is continuing. The last time we have seen such a celebration was when Congress party won with heavy mandate in Karnataka. So that is the kind of celebration that we are seeing today as well. But of course, we have to see whether there are going to be technical notes as far as his reinstatement is concerned. In fact, I want to show you these visuals from AICC. Lot of dancing, singing, bhols and nagadas in fact happening. Clearly a lot of joy among the people who have in fact gathered over here. Full celebratory mode, and Rahul Gandhi has in fact arrived here at the AICC headquarters. All of them are in fact hoping that probably after the meeting, Rahul Gandhi will be coming and speaking to them. So that is of course we have to see, but full celebration that is in fact happening here at the AICC headquarters.
Right, thank you Sharon for getting us the latest from the AICC HQ. Rahul Gandhi arriving at the Congress headquarters with his sister and also accompanied by Congress General Secretary KC Venugopal. A huge victory for the Congress as the Supreme Court has stayed his conviction in the Modi surname defamation case. We'll continue to track all the developments coming in from the AICC HQ. For now, a quick break. More news and updates on the other side.
At least 6 years, which means at least for 6 years he doesn't enter parliament, and that will always be like a sword hanging over his political future.
Also, Pallavi, the Supreme Court had earlier made a remark that why was a maximum sentence in this particular case was given, because defamation really attracts a 2-year of maximum sentence, and that was slapped to Rahul Gandhi. All of that is being considered today. Of course, like you're mentioning, this is a big attempt and a big day for Rahul Gandhi. It's practically going to be defining his political future, and that there are constant deliberations that are coming out of the court. And from what our colleague Ananya has been reporting, what can we expect today?
So there's more information which is coming in, and this is okay, Supreme Court stays the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. That's the big news which is coming in. Ananya Bhatnagar has just got this news for us.
This is a big breaking news, yes.
A huge relief for Rahul Gandhi.
Alright, so we will just put this out for our viewers. Supreme Court has stayed the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. It's a big relief for Rahul Gandhi in the Modi surname defamation case is concerned. What has happened is the Supreme Court has decided to stay the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. So that disqualification from the parliament also now can be taken away, and there you have it. The maximum sentence was given by a Surat court, which is now being stayed by the apex court of the country. Supreme Court there staying the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. Big relief for the Congress leader. Remember, this afternoon is when the Supreme Court had started hearing the Rahul Gandhi case, where it was challenging the Gujarat High Court's verdict that declined to put a hold on his conviction in the defamation case over the Modi surname remark. Earlier this year, Rahul Gandhi was disqualified as an MP for his comments that were linked to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Remember, he had made those comments while he was in Gujarat 2 years ago, in 2019 in fact, and that defamation case was filed from I believe in Bihar, and that's where in Gujarat, and that's how the case really reached the Surat courts. And after
initially onwards that this is the maximum punishment to disqualify Rahul Gandhi from the Lok Sabha. Entire episode was started when Rahul Gandhi speak about Adani-Modi relations in Parliament. Now, Supreme Court also, I think, are in the interim judgment, granting stay, conviction stay, they also telling that this maximum punishment is actually something to disqualify.
Are you happy with that order, sir?
Definitely, you know that we are believing the legal procedure of this higher system. What we got from Gujarat, this is totally a different verdict.
सर सुप्रीम कोर्ट की ओर से आज जो राहत मिली है राहुल गांधी को, लंबे समय से कांग्रेस पार्टी मांग कर रही थी, क्या कहना है सर आज जो ये वर्डिक्ट आया है? सुप्रीम कोर्ट का?
We will, our spokesperson will give details. Don't worry.
Okay.
First reaction is already we are welcoming this decision of stay of conviction.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, so that was the first reaction from
Good afternoon. You're watching the breaking news show right here on CNN News 18. My name is Toya Singh. We're actually starting the show with breaking news we've got coming in regarding the Gyanvapi mosque complex, with the Supreme Court allowing the Architecture Survey of India's survey to continue at the Gyanvapi site. The Supreme Court bench that's headed by the CJI, the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, that said that having regard to the nature and the ambit of the court, the appointed commissioner and the safeguards placed by the High Court were unable to interfere with the order. The Supreme Court says that non-invasive techniques shall be used during this survey. This is the update that we've got coming in. Remember, yesterday the Anjuman Intizamiya Mosque Committee had finally filed their plea before the top court. They were challenging the Allahabad High Court, which is what the Supreme Court has referred to in their order. They were challenging the Allahabad High Court's order, which had rejected its petition against the Varanasi District Court directive permitting the ASI to carry out the survey of the Gyanvapi Mosque. We'll bring you more context, but remember, the High Court's single judge bench with the Chief Justice had termed the Varanasi District Court order for a survey on the disputed premises as just and proper. Let's go to my colleague Siddhant to understand more in terms of details when it comes to what the Supreme Court has just said. Siddhant, over to you. Bring us context, please.
Well, yes, that's right. So it's a green signal for ASI scientific survey. This is what Ananya is reporting from the Supreme Court. At the same time, SC bench headed by CJI, D.Y. Chandrachud, says, and I quote, that having regard to nature and ambit of the court, appointed commissioner and safeguard placed by High Court, we are unable to interfere with the order. Now, SC has clearly said that the non-invasive techniques shall be used during the survey. Perhaps this was the assurance also which ASI teams gave to the Allahabad High Court, that there is not going to be any sort of invasion or damage to the structure, and the same was assured to the court by the lawyers of the UP government. So Justice Chandrachud has once again reiterated that there should not be any damage to the structure, or non-invasive techniques should be used. At the same time, a very interesting demand has come from the Muslim side, saying that the report of this survey should not be made public. It should be given to the in a sealed envelope. This is what the Muslim side has said. Now, Ananya is saying that the discussions are right now underway. What SC has to say with regard to making the report public. So SC has, okay, fine. Ananya has now given us this input that SC has refused Muslim side's demand for keeping the report in sealed cover. So now this report, which is going to be filed in a week's time in the High Court, will be made public. So there is no objection, or perhaps the Supreme Court has refused Muslim side's appeal to keep the report private or in a sealed envelope. So, so very big, orders coming from the Supreme Court. This is perhaps the second time that Muslim side has moved the Supreme Court for relief or to put a stay on the overall exercise which is going on at Gyanvapi Mosque, and second time also.
ये एविडेंस में डिसाइड होगा, और जो उनकी 7/11 की पेटिशन है उस पर डिटेल्ड आर्गुमेंट्स आगे किए जाएंगे, पर कोर्ट ने आज की डेट में सर्वे पर रोक लगाने से इनकार कर दिया, और कोर्ट ने स्पष्ट रूप से कहा कि जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है और हाई कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है ये बहुत स्पष्ट है, और इसमें आपके जितने एप्लीकेशंस हैं अंजुमन इंतजामिया के वो ऑलरेडी टेकन केयर हैं। सर्वे में कोई एक्सकेवेशन नहीं होने वाला है, स्ट्रक्चर में कोई डैमेज नहीं होने वाला है, और इसलिए सर्वे नहीं रुकेगा।
यानी कोर्ट ने एएसआई की रिपोर्ट का भरोसा लिया है। एएसआई के डायरेक्टर
ने जो एफिडेविट दिया था ऑनरेबल इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट के सामने, उस एफिडेविट पे ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी भरोसा जताया है, और यही कहा है कि एएसआई जो है हमेशा मॉन्यूमेंट को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए जानी जाती है, इसलिए एएसआई वहां पे डैमेज या डिस्ट्रॉय करेगी ऐसा नहीं।
आपकी कौन-कौन सी दलीलें थी जो मुस्लिम पक्षकारों पर भारी पड़ी और कोर्ट को आपने?
देखिए, मुझे लगता है सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात ये थी, जो सर्वे की एक्सरसाइज है बिना स्ट्रक्चर को डैमेज किए हुए करी जाएगी, ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात है, और वहां पे कोई एक्सकेवेशन नहीं होगा, ये दूसरी इम्पोर्टेंट बात है। तीसरी बात जो हमारी लीगल रिसर्च थी कि ऑर्डर 26 रूल 10A में सीपीसी के साइंटिफिक इन्वेस्टिगेशन का प्रावधान है,
और डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट ऐसा आदेश पारित कर सकती है और एएसआई इस देश की प्रीमियम और एक्सपर्ट बॉडी है। इन सारे तर्कों और तथ्यों के आधार पर मुझे लगता है डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट ने फैसला दिया था, जिसको ऑनरेबल इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ने भी अपहोल्ड किया और आज ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी उस बात को अपहोल्ड किया है। और जो प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट की बात है, आज हमने कोर्ट के सामने यही बात रखी कि धार्मिक स्वरूप क्या है ये एविडेंस में तय होगा, क्योंकि हमारा केस ये है कि 15 अगस्त 1947 से पहले और 15 अगस्त 1947 के बाद हम बराबर वहां पे पूजा पाठ करते चले आ रहे हैं। इसलिए धार्मिक स्वरूप का जो प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट का बार है वो किसके पक्ष में लागू होगा ये एविडेंस में देखा जाएगा और यही सारी बातें हमने कोर्ट में रखी। तो आज बहुत एक इम्पोर्टेंट फैसला है सुप्रीम कोर्ट का और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात यह सर्वे पे कोई रोक नहीं है। सर्वे जैसे
उन्होंने सीलबंद लिफाफे में बोला था,
नहीं वो
ने कहा कि हमें इसको सीलबंद में रखा
नहीं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि जो रिपोर्ट है वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट के सामने पेश की जाएगी और उसके बाद वो रिपोर्ट सब्जेक्ट टू फर्दर स्क्रूटनी है, क्रॉस एग्जामिनेशन है, सारी चीजें हो सकती।
कोर्ट शुरू से ये कह रहा था कि सर्वे में कोई हर्जा नहीं है और सर्वे किया जा सकता है।
देखिए मैं भी
ये तो फाइनल हियरिंग में तय होगा, अदालत तय करेगी कि क्या।
बिल्कुल सही बात है। देखिए जो मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ, जब ये सर्वे की रिपोर्ट आएगी तो ये फाइनल या कंक्लूसिव नहीं है। अंजुमन इंतजामिया या जिसके खिलाफ वो रिपोर्ट आएगी उसको ये चांस मिलेगा कि वो एक्सपर्ट्स को क्रॉस एग्जामिन कर सकता है, अपने ऑब्जेक्शंस दे सकता है और उसके बाद कोर्ट डिसाइड करेगी, ट्रायल कोर्ट डिसाइड करेगी, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट वाराणसी डिसाइड करेगी कि क्या ये एक्सपर्ट ओपिनियन मानी जाए, एविडेंस के रूप में लिया जाए कि नहीं लिया जाए।
ये बड़ा कितना मददगार साबित होगा सर्वे का मामला।
देखिए हमारा ऐसा मानना है कि ये सर्वे इस केस को डिसाइड करने के लिए बहुत अहम रोल प्ले करेगा। इस सर्वे से बहुत सारी चीजें क्लियर होंगी। जो मेन बात हमारा कहना है कि औरंगजेब के समय बनी हुई इमारत नहीं है, उससे पहले की बनी हुई इमारत है और वहाँ पे भी हमारी विजिबल और इनविजिबल डेटीज मौजूद हैं। वो सारी बातें सर्वे के बाद क्लियर होंगी।
जिला अदालत को रिपोर्ट सौंपने के लिए कोई निर्धारित समय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने दिया है?
नहीं, देखिए कोई निर्धारित समय नहीं दिया। ऑलरेडी वो जिला अदालत में मैटर पेंडिंग है। आज हमारी एप्लीकेशन जिला अदालत में फाइल हो गई है और हमने 15 दिन का और समय मांगा है, जिस पर आज ऑनरेबल डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट वाराणसी अपना फैसला।
कितने दिन में सर्वे पूरा हो जाने की उम्मीद?
देखिए मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये सर्वे 15-20 दिन में पूरा हो जाना चाहिए, पर ये सिर्फ एक टेंटेटिव गैस है मेरा। इसको मतलब कोई फाइनल वर्डिक्ट मत समझिएगा, स्टेटमेंट मत समझिएगा।
पहले जिला अदालत ने एक समय दिया था, क्या
पर जिला अदालत का जो समय था वो स्टे की वजह से खत्म हो गया, तो आज हमने जिला अदालत में दोबारा एप्लीकेशन मूव की है और फर्दर जिला अदालत से एक्सटेंशन का टाइम मांगा है। तो हमें पूरी उम्मीद है कि जिला अदालत वो टाइम एक्सटेंड करेगी।
ठीक है। हमारे साथ विष्णु शंकर जैन है, हम इनसे बात करते हैं। एक सेकंड भैया, एक मिनट रुको। हमारे साथ विष्णु शंकर जैन है, हम बात करते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट।
All right, let's bring you a little bit of context. There was the lawyer, the counsel for the Hindu side in this entire case. We'll have my colleague Ananya joining us in just a second. This is a decades-old litigation around the mosque that has gained momentum over the last year. This is after 5 Hindu women sought the right to worship the Ma Shringar Gauri on the outer wall of the mosque complex. The matter has since moved from a magistrate court to a district court to the Allahabad High Court and then to the Supreme Court and then actually back to the district court and the High Court. So it's actually gone from court to court, as you can see. We'll have my colleague, our legal correspondent Ananya Bhanagar, with us in just a second to lay out the timeline for us. It's in fact the Supreme Court had said that this case would be looked at by the Allahabad High Court, and after the Allahabad High Court had gone ahead and passed its judgment in which it had allowed the Gyanvapi mosque survey to continue, it's after that that you'd had the Muslim side file this plea at the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court passing the sentences, you can see, saying that the Architecture Survey of India survey should very much continue, and adding that stipulation, as you know, that no excavation should take place. Remember, this has been a commitment that has been made after the Muslim side's concern that their structure might get damaged in any kind of investigation.
Allahabad High Court upholding the order of District Court Varanasi has also been upheld, and today the petition of Anjuman Intizamiya, so far as challenge to ASI survey was concerned, has been rejected on the ground that there is already the apprehension that excavation will happen has already been taken care of.
Last and final question, the Places of Worship Act was being constantly argued by Mr. Ahmadi, but the court finally said that, this is something that cannot
What is the religious character has to be determined by way of evidence, and therefore Places of Worship Act will turn in whose favor will be decided after leading evidence.
So this was Vishnu Shankar Jain was speaking to us with regards to how, this big order has come in from. In fact, the Supreme Court, clearly giving a green signal for the Archaeological Survey of India to conduct this particular survey. Remember that the survey began at 7 a.m. in the morning and is still continuing. And in fact, what is very, very clear at this point of time is that now no legal challenge can actually sustain at this particular survey that's being conducted at the Gyanvapi site. Remember, three major contentions are there. One is that there is a central dome, other is the northern and the southern pillars, other is the western wall that is said to be engraved with Hindu mantras, is what was the contention of the Hindu petitioners before the topmost court of the country, before the Allahabad High Court and also before the Varanasi District Court. The order of Archaeological Survey of India survey has succeeded at all the three levels, whether of the district judge, whether of the High Court, and now by the Supreme Court also. It has got a green stamp. In fact, a demand of the Muslim side that there shall be, the report shall be kept in the sealed cover has also been rejected by the topmost court of the country. However, a direction has been given by the Supreme Court very, very categorically, and this is a bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Justice Dhananjay Ashwant Chandrachud, also comprising Justice J.B. Pardiwala and Justice Manoj Mishra, that no invasive techniques shall be used. These were the clear direction. The court took note of the ASI survey as well, and very, very clearly and categorically has held that yes, the survey can go on. However, the court was cognizant of the fact that the issue with regards to the Places of Worship Act shall be dealt with differently. This is the major contention, the main contention on which the suit that is with regards to the Gyanvapi Adi Visheshwar dispute is there, is to be dealt with differently, because this order that is coming from the Varanasi District Court and then subsequently by the Allahabad High Court are interlocutory orders and are not a final order. These are orders that are in the interim. These are not the main petitions that were there. And now finally a big win coming in for the Hindu side in this particular case. Vishnu Shankar Jain, you just heard, he was with me, he was speaking to us with regards to this particular order, and very clearly the Hindu side is rejoicing at this point of time, and the survey will continue at the Varanasi Gyanvapi site. Very, very categorically, the verdicts coming in from the topmost court of the country, bench headed by the topmost judge of the country, CJI D.Y. Chandrachud. Toya.
Ananya, in their pronouncement, did the Supreme Court give any context as to why they were denying the Muslim side their demand for the findings to be submitted in a closed envelope?
Well, this was a demand that was made almost at the end of the order being pronounced. The court said that all the concerns have been taken care of by the High Court and the Varanasi District Court itself, and that's the reason why it would not delve into the the aspect of whether the report shall be submitted in a sealed cover or not. But another development that has happened away from the Supreme Court is with regards to the Varanasi court, where the Hindu side had, if you remember, knocked at the doors of the court, saying that since the order of the Varanasi District Court, and I had pointed out to you in the morning as well that this would be a request that would be made before the Varanasi District Court to extend the timeline to conclude this survey. So some more have been given out to the Hindu side and to the Archaeological Survey of India, particularly to conclude this particular exercise that is to be begun at, in fact, the Gyanvapi site that is already begun actually at 7 a.m. in the morning today. We saw a break being taken by the ASI officials at around 12 a.m. and 3 p.m. Again, they were back inside the premises, and the Supreme Court has now given a clean sheet, a green way to, in fact, the whole Gyanvapi site being, under the Archaeological Survey of India survey.
Okay, Ananya, I just want to understand, some legal experts are saying that this judgment was largely expected because the Supreme Court is the court that had decided that the Allahabad High Court should take a look at this. Is that a fair takeaway to have from today's developments?
If you could repeat your question.
I was asking you.
I lost your voice.
Yes, Ananya, I was asking you if it's a fair takeaway for our audiences to make that this was largely expected, because it is the Supreme Court that had said that the Allahabad High Court should take a look at this in the first place.
Well, that was completely procedural. Yeah, the matter had to go before the Allahabad High Court. That was the court of first appeal. Remember, the Supreme Court is always the court of second appeal when it comes to cases like these. But not presumpting anything, but this is the order that has now been passed by the topmost court of the country. It is in way of the laws that are pre-existing in the country, and we are not somebody who can actually comment on the verdict of the Supreme Court or to preclude what the Supreme Court would be saying before the Supreme Court actually passes on its order. But definitely this is an order that has now come in from the Chief Justice's bench very clearly and categorically stating that there was no and he in fact quoted into his order that there is no affirmity or no problem with the orders of the High Court. The High Court has dealt with all of the contentions of the Muslim side. In fact, the major contention with regards to the destruction of that particular structure has been taken care of. The Archaeological Survey of India too has given a statement not only before the Varanasi district judge, not only before the Allahabad High Court by way of an undertaking, but also before the Supreme Court of India with the statement of the topmost law officer of the country. One of the topmost law officers of the country, Mr. Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, was recorded that no kind of a destructive technique, no kind of an invasive technique would be used, and the Supreme Court has also in its order clearly stated that no invasive techniques shall be used. The Muslim side argued for quite a while, but the arguments did not, succeed in a favorable order for their side. But the Hindu side today has taken a favorable order from the Supreme Court. The Archaeological Survey of India can continue to conduct this particular survey. However, the finding of this commission will be, subject to the deciding of that particular maintainability that will be decided by the Supreme Court next week. But very, very categorically and very clearly, the Supreme Court giving out a green signal to the Hindu side and to the Archaeological Survey of India to conduct this particular survey. Remember that both the sides, the Hindu lawyers and the Muslim side lawyers, would be there when the survey would be conducted as it was earlier, and it would be conducted under heavy security. As we've been seeing since the morning, there are layers of security that are deployed at the Gyanvapi site where the survey is taking place. And in fact, the temple administration, the Adi Visheshwar temple administration, and also the Kashi Vishwanath temple administration had issued directions that no kind of a mobile phones would be allowed inside the temple premises for these particular days when this survey is to be conducted. And very clearly and categorically now no legal challenge stands to this ASI survey at this point of time. It will go on and it will continue at the Gyanvapi site where this survey was taking place since 7 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
Toya.
Ananya, can I ask you to summarize for our audiences now the details that have been decided when it comes to what the ASI survey needs to look like, the kind of technology that can be used, how long the survey can be carried out for? What have the courts decided on this? I don't just mean the SC here, I also mean the Varanasi court.
Well, the timeline that was set earlier was till August 4. But it has been extended by the court today, and by the end of this month, in fact, the ASI will have to conclude this survey that has to take place. No kind of an invasive technique, no kind of a destructive technique that could cause harm to that particular Gyanvapi structure could actually be used in this particular survey. Now, what would the ASI be doing? That we have been telling our viewers since the very morning. Two major techniques. One is the GPR, that is the ground penetrating radars, would be used by, in fact, the Archaeological Survey of India to check as to whether there are some artifacts beneath the ground that needs to be recovered. And for that, this machine called the GPR or the ground penetrating radar is used. It is consisting of basically two parts. One is a transmitter, one is a receiver. The transmitter sends the wave beneath the ground, and if it bounces back, if at all there is some kind of an artifact, and it's so accurate that it can map you that what is under beneath the ground that is hitting those particular waves. Apart from that, GNSS and the GPS, that is the global positioning system, would be used to in fact geotag this particular location, and drones might also be used by, in fact, the Archaeological Survey of India to actually see the heightened imagery, and also to take an aerial view of this whole Gyanvapi site in order to check the archaeological age, to check the structure, the structural design, and what is there at that particular site at Gyanvapi. Remember, three major parts: central dome, the western wall, and the two pillars that are there at the northern and the southern side of that particular site are to be investigated by the Archaeological Survey of India, and the survey has been continuing since the very morning at around 7 a.m. Today.
Ananya, can you tell our audiences the key argument, or one of the key arguments that's come in from the Masjid Committee's representatives in court, the Muslim side's representatives in court, is that any kind of survey stands in violation of the 1991 Places of Worship Act. Can you tell our audiences what the courts have had to say about that contention?
Well, definitely, this was the argument that was continuously being made by Mr. Huzaifa Ahmadi, who was appearing for the Muslim side in this particular case, very categorically saying that, this is something that needs to be taken care of. The Places of Worship Act is something that prohibits the rejudging of and recharacterization of a religious structure, and that's exactly the bonus
Ananya, I need you to stay with us. We have Madan Mohan, he's the Hindu side's lawyer. He's with us on the phone right now. Madan Mohan जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद. मदन मोहन जी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के इस प्रोनाउंसमेंट में आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया है सर? मदन मोहन जी, आप हमें सुन पा रहे हैं?
हमारे जी मैं सुन रहा हूँ.
बोलिए सर.
ये हम लोग अत्यंत हर्षित हैं और काशी हर हर बम बम बोल रहा है. वर्षों से लटकाओ भटकाओ अटकाओ की नीति का सामना करना पड़ रहा है. हमें कदम कदम पे बाधाएं खड़ी की जा रही थी, उसका मार्ग माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने प्रशस्त कर दिया है. और ये एक साइंटिफिक कार्रवाई है जिसमें किसी प्रकार का किसी को आपत्ति नहीं होना चाहिए और दूध का दूध पानी का पानी हो जाए. और दूसरी बात यह है कि और ये रिपोर्ट लिफाफा बंद करके न्यायालय के समक्ष प्रस्तुत करना है. आज हम लोग मैं जनपद न्यायाधीश वाराणसी के कोर्ट में इसी विषय पर शामिल हुआ और यहाँ पे चुप.
All right, I think we've lost our connection. Okay, I think we've lost our connection. We'll try to restart. मदन मोहन जी, आप सुन पा रहे हैं आप हमें?
जी मैं आपको सुन रहा हूँ.
सर, हमारी लाइन कट गई थी. आप कह रहे थे, फिर से बोलिए प्लीज सर.
जनपद न्यायाधीश वाराणसी के कोर्ट में चूंकि आज ही ये आर्कियोलॉजी सर्वे की कार्रवाई को सबमिट करना था, उसकी पूरी रिपोर्ट को आज डेट दिया गया था. परंतु इस बीच में मामला सुप्रीम कोर्ट हाई कोर्ट होते हुए एसवाई की कार्रवाई को पूरा करने के लिए गया, तो वो 4 सप्ताह का समय जनपद न्यायाधीश वाराणसी दे दिए हैं. इस बीच ये संपूर्ण अपनी कार्रवाई एएसआई करके पूरा साइंटिफिक सर्वे करके कोर्ट में सबमिट करना है इनको.
ओके सर, ये बताइए दूसरे पक्ष की जो मांग थी कि जो फाइंडिंग्स हैं वो एक क्लोज्ड एनवेलप में दिए जाएं, इस पे से आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया थी?
वो जनपद न्यायाधीश ने इस विषय पर जो आपत्ति थी उसको खारिज करते हुए 9 तारीख का उसमें विषय दिया समय दे दिया है 9 अगस्त का, तो उस पर वो सुनेंगे. परंतु आज इन्होंने कहा कि नहीं वेट करने दीजिए और सौभाग्य से सुप्रीम कोर्ट का भी आदेश हमारे पक्ष में आ गया. तो हम लोग अत्यंत हर्षित हैं. यहाँ पे जो भी अधिवक्ता समाज है वो बहुत प्रसन्न है. तो ये बहुत ऐतिहासिक जीत है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी इस बात को हमारे पक्ष को मजबूत कर दिया और उसकी सहमति दी रिकमेंड कर लिया. और नहीं तो ये हम लोग थोड़ा सा धक बढ़ा हुआ था हमारे अंदर, पता नहीं फिर स्टे न हो जाए, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ. इसलिए हम अत्यंत प्रसन्न हैं. हम लोग बहुत खुश हैं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के इस आदेश का यहाँ पे हमारे अधिवक्ता साथियों के बीच में चर्चा परिचर्चा हो रही है. सब बड़े खुश हैं कि अब वहाँ से भी खारिज हो गया, अब इनको कोई विकल्प नहीं बच रहा है. अब धीरे धीरे इनके अवसर तो समाप्त हो रहे थे, परंतु आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट की मोहर लगना हमारे लिए बड़ी जीत है.
ओके मदन मोहन जी, एक आखिरी प्रश्न आपसे. हमें ये जानना है सर, ऑब्वियसली सर्वे तो अभी जारी हो चुका है, बट सर अब आपकी लीगल टीम की क्या स्ट्रैटेजी रहेगी, बताइए.
आप तो बहुत अच्छा आपने सवाल किया. अब हम 4 सप्ताह का चूंकि वाराणसी कोर्ट ने जिला जज ने समय दिया है एएसआई के वकील के माध्यम से, जो उनकी डिमांड थी, तो इस 4 सप्ताह में आराम से रिपोर्ट सबमिट करेंगे और उस रिपोर्ट का आने के बाद अगली कार्रवाई इसी आधार पे हम न्यायालय से मांग करेंगे कि यह जो रिपोर्ट सबमिट है उसको हमें दिया जाए. हम अध्ययन करेंगे और उसके आधार पे आगे की मांग होगी कि यह जो विवाद है सदा सर्वदा के लिए उसका पटाक्षेप कर दिया जाए, उसको समाप्त कर दिया जाए, जिससे कि यह जो अशांति का कारक बना हुआ है कई तरह से वितंडावाद की चर्चा परिचर्चा यानी कि.
All right, that connection with Madan Mohan, who is the representative for the Hindu side, that is going in and out. Let's head into a short break. This is the breaking news show on CNN News 18. On the other side, we continue to bring you all of the country's top stories. See you in just a few minutes.
us live from outside the court premises. Ananya, there's a big piece of news for Rahul Gandhi and the supporters of Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party. Next step is that he's going to be reinstated in the parliament. But right for now, the apex court staying that conviction of Rahul Gandhi that was held by all the other courts, the Gujarat High Court and before that the Surat Court. Just take us through all of that that has happened inside the apex court today.
Well, definitely the Supreme Court had heard this matter for a long time today, and in fact for almost half the pre-lunch session. And very, very clearly now Rahul Gandhi has been granted that particular relief that he had been waiting for since court to court. This was his third appeal, if you remember. First it was rejected by the Gujarat Sessions Court and then by the High Court itself. And in fact the District Court had also refused to stay his conviction in that particular case, though a suspension of sentence was granted. But now finally that relief comes in for the former Congress president. Now what does it mean for Rahul Gandhi? Number one is that he can go back to the Lok Sabha Secretariat and say that, you know, since my conviction has now been stayed in this particular case, please reinstate me as a member of the parliament. The people of Wayanad might be really happy because, you know, he was representing the people of Wayanad, and the voice of Wayanad would be back in the parliament is what is the view, you know, in the general public. And also, very, very importantly, you know, Rahul Gandhi can now fight the 2024 elections. Very, very clearly, this is a big relief, a huge relief that Rahul Gandhi has been, you know, waiting for since the last few days. Though he had, on the political spectrum, he had used this opportunity to, you know, say, and in fact his Twitter bio also used to say that he was a disqualified MP. But now finally that disqualification can go away. He can go back to, in fact, you know, the Lok Sabha Secretariat, can ask the Speaker and the Lok Sabha chairman to actually say that, you know, since my conviction has now been stayed, he can be reinstated.
And Rahul Gandhi's Modi surname defamation case has reached the apex court of the country. The Supreme Court at the moment is dictating the order in that very case on the remarks. Remember, Rahul Gandhi had earlier said that it's bizarre to ask me to apologize in the Modi surname case. Today, the Supreme Court has taken up the case that has reached the apex court at the moment. They are now dictating the order. Let's take this across to my colleague Pallavi Ghosh, who's joining us on the broadcast. Pallavi, this is the last-ditch attempt for Rahul Gandhi. We will get to know whether or not that entire conviction stays in this case. It's a big day for him. What are you learning that's coming out of the court?
In fact, we are waiting for the final order to come through, but my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar, who's very much inside the court, is awaiting, and he's giving us some information. And just to quote from what he has given, that basically, according to what he's reporting, is that the court has said that an appeal filed by the appellant is pending in the Sessions Court, and so far as the stay of conviction and sentencing is concerned, we have considered some factors. So we're just going to wait for what Ananya has to give us some more. But it's certainly going to be a very, very big day for Rahul Gandhi. His political future also hinges on this. Remember, consistently Rahul Gandhi's lawyers have made the point that he never actually said anything against any community. He was talking specifically in the context of Lalit Modi and Nirav Modi, both of whom do not belong to the OBC community. And second, the punishment given out to him is in far excess of the so-called crime. If you remember the last hearing which took place in Supreme Court, Rahul Gandhi through his lawyers had clearly made the point, I am not going to be apologizing because I have not said or done anything wrong. What does it really mean? In case the conviction is scratched, he could be reinstated as a member of parliament. So far, no by-elections have been declared from his constituency of Wayanad, and therefore his political future hinges on this. In case his conviction is not scratched, then he can no longer contest elections for at least 6 years, which means at least for 6 years he doesn't enter parliament, and that will always be like a sword hanging over his political future.
Also, Pallavi, the Supreme Court had earlier made a remark that why was a maximum sentence in this particular case was given, because defamation really attracts a 2-year of maximum sentence, and that was slapped to Rahul Gandhi. All of that is being considered today. Of course, like you're mentioning, this is a big attempt and a big day for Rahul Gandhi. It's practically going to be defining his political future, and that there are constant deliberations that are coming out of the court. And from what our colleague Ananya has been reporting, what can we expect today?
So there's more information which is coming in, and this is Okay, Supreme Court stays the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. That's the big news which is coming in. Ananya Bhatnagar has just got this news for us.
This is a big breaking news, yes.
A huge relief for Rahul Gandhi.
Alright, so we will just put this out for our viewers. Supreme Court has stayed the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. It's a big relief for Rahul Gandhi in the Modi surname defamation case is concerned. What has happened is the Supreme Court has decided to stay the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. So that disqualification from the parliament also now can be taken away, and there you have it. The maximum sentence was given by a Surat court, which is now being stayed by the apex court of the country. Supreme Court there staying the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. Big relief for the Congress leader. Remember, this afternoon is when the Supreme Court had started hearing the Rahul Gandhi case, where it was challenging the Gujarat High Court's verdict that declined. Big relief for Rahul Gandhi in the Modi surname defamation case is concerned. What has happened is the Supreme Court has decided to stay the conviction of Rahul Gandhi. So that disqualification from the parliament also now can be taken away.
The Speaker's office now has to take the decision on whether, basis the stay, they can reinstate Rahul Gandhi as a member of parliament.
The Supreme Court verdict today has really will be remembered for a long time. In the way, despite all the things that were said and perhaps some other politics involved in it, but the courts have lived up to their reputation, and it has again restored the great faith that we have in our judicial system.
As far as the Speaker's office is concerned, they are saying we don't do politics over it, we merely follow the procedure. In fact, the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi was also on the basis of a law which was passed.
Immediate order copy of that particular case was made by Mr. Singhvi. We might see that the orders might come in by evening, which is the general procedure at the Supreme Court, and they're usually uploaded on the Supreme Court website, and then the orders can be sent to the Lok Sabha Secretariat.
Welcome back. You're watching the Breaking News Show. We're continuing to cover the top story of this hour. The Supreme Court has stayed the conviction of Congress leader Rahul Gandhi in connection with the Modi surname case, which had, you might remember, earlier led to his disqualification as a Lok Sabha MP. What that means now is that Rahul Gandhi can approach the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Prakash Birla to be reinstated as a member of the Parliament. Now, he had approached the Supreme Court challenging the Gujarat High Court's dismissal of his application to stay the conviction in this case against him. Remember, what is this case about? This case is around his conviction in connection with a statement he made in 2019 at a poll rally in Kolar in Karnataka. In that comment, he'd referred to people like Nirav and Lalit Modi, asking why all thieves have the same surname. It was a remark that was considered to be a veiled jibe at the Prime Minister. Now, once Rahul gets reinstated, he can rejoin the Parliament. He can also contest elections. We have breaking news coming in. I believe we do have Rahul Gandhi's first reaction. He's taken to Twitter to say, "Come what may, my duty remains the same, protecting the idea of India." Now, my colleague Pallavi Ghosh is with us. She's bringing us each of these updates. Pallavi, tell our audiences, what's the takeaway from Rahul Gandhi's statement on Twitter?
So as we were talking about this ever since the news broke out, really, Toya, how the Congress party, but more importantly, Rahul Gandhi has pitched it as a fight for truth and also a fight against what they call the tyranny of the BJP. And you are going to be seeing that when Rahul Gandhi is going to do a special press conference at around 4:30 p.m. today, that, not make a big deal, but this was not a fight about me being reinstated as a member of parliament, but it was essentially a fight in which there has been an alleged misuse of the institutions by the government. And over here, of course, a reference to the needless punishment meted out to him. If you remember, and Rahul Gandhi had been traveling abroad, whether it was to America or it was to UK earlier, he consistently made the point at his various interactions over there that my crime was not in sync with the kind of punishment that has been given out to me. It is only the BJP's way of keeping me out of parliament because I asked them those uncomfortable questions. This is the essence which has been captured in Rahul Gandhi's first reaction reaction after his conviction has been stayed. This is going to be the crux of its campaign of the Congress party, and I think even of the larger India Opposition Front Alliance, which is borne out by the tweets of, say, a Mamata Banerjee or an Akhilesh Yadav and the others as well.
Okay, Pallavi, if I can ask you to stay with us, let's take our audiences through what the Supreme Court had to say right now. We're going to walk you through each of the big observations. Observation 1, that the petitioner, in this case Rahul Gandhi's, utterances were not in good taste. We're going to walk you through each of these points, then we'll go back to my colleague Pallavi to understand more. Observation 2, that a public person must exercise caution. Observation number 3, that they must exercise caution during public speeches in particular. Observation number 4, no specific reason, and this is important, this is where they've made a comment on the Gujarat High Court. For example, they've said no specific reason was given by the trial judge to impose the maximum sentence, because remember, Rahul Gandhi was given the maximum sentence of 2 years. Observation number 5, this offence is non-compoundable, bailable and cognizable. Let's go back to my colleague Pallavi right now to understand more on this entire story and the reactions that we have coming in. Pallavi, it's quite clear from all of the Congress reactions that the Congress's hope here is that Rahul Gandhi will be back in Parliament in time for the Prime Minister's speech in the no confidence motion. I want to ask you, Pallavi, what is the likelihood of that? What is the historical precedence we have here? How quickly is the turnaround typically?
Well, I mean, his reinstatement as MP can happen as quickly as 24 to 48 hours, but that all depends really on how soon does the Speaker's office get an order copy. So the order copy, as we are being told, has not even been received by the legal team of Rahul Gandhi, because they're going to do a clipping of that, and also the order copy is uploaded on the website, and that has to be accessed by the Speaker's office. So the procedure is very simple, and Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury in fact said that in his soundbite, that they have already approached the Speaker, but the Speaker has to go by the rules. And so once the rule essentially and the procedure mentions that first of all the order copy has to be accessed by them, available to them, they have to go through the order copy, then the fine lines also have to go through, the conviction being stayed, the sentencing being stayed. It's after that the reinstatement procedure takes place. In the case of the precedents of the Puducherry MP, we saw it was done within 24 to 48 hours, but that is after he had approached the court, because he had also said that it's a long drawn out process. Despite the fact that my disqualification has been overturned, I have not been reinstated, and then he had to do it. So therefore, that same procedure, time can happen as far as Rahul Gandhi's reinstatement is concerned. The Congress certainly would want him to be a part of the no confidence motion, which begins on the 8th. Just a very quick tidbit, last time round when the TDP had moved a no confidence motion against the Modi government, Rahul Gandhi had spoken on behalf of the Congress party, and when he spoke, he talked about the politics of hate of the BJP versus the politics of love of the Congress party, which is again the central theme of his Bharat Jodo Yatra, on which he is going to embark upon. And if you remember those pictures, he had walked up and hugged the Prime Minister. That is something which I think the Congress party would want to do and have a replay of, Toya, but all of this depends really on when does that reinstatement takes place. That is something, a decision which is taken by the Speaker himself.
Okay, one interesting thing, Pallavi, in the Supreme Court's pronouncement is that they have said that the petitioner's utterances were not in good taste. Any Congress comments on that?
See, during the legal arguments, consistently Rahul Gandhi's legal team has been saying on behalf of Rahul Gandhi that he never made a derogatory comment against any community. What was the case against him? It was on the ground that he had spoken out against the against the OBC community, which is the Modi community, and Rahul Gandhi said, I'm talking about Lalit Modi and Nirav Modi. Both of them don't belong to the OBC community. So I was talking about corruption, and therefore these were baseless allegations against me. That is the crux of Rahul Gandhi's argument. Also, I remember when he had gone to Kolar this time round again during the campaign for Karnataka, he was a little bit more careful with his words. These kind of similar words were not used. I think at this point of time, as the Congress party celebrates its win, Toya, I think the advice which has also been given to him is, let's be little restrained. It is important that Rahul Gandhi is there in Parliament till the Lok Sabha elections of 2024. But more than that, Rahul Gandhi can contest the elections from Wayanad. There's also a possibility that he may want to contest from Amethi, because last time Ryan he had lost from Amethi, but he would want to make that ultimate political message by contesting from Amethi, but that's a decision which has not yet been taken yet.
Okay, let me just tell our audiences, Pallavi, We're looking at the AICC headquarters right now. Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge.
उसके बाद कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष, पूर्व कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष और हमारे जनरल सेक्रेटरी संगठन के केसी वेणुगोपाल जी वापस तमिलनाडु की मीटिंग में जाएंगे और ये प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस अभिषेक सिंघवी जी और अधीर रंजन जी लेंगे। आपके सारे सवालों का जवाब सिंघवी साहब और अधीर रंजन जी देंगे। तो पहले मैं गुजारिश करूंगा कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष को कि आपको संबोधित करें। माननीय मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी।
राहुल जी, वेणुगोपाल जी, सिंघवी जी, जयराम रमेश जी, आदिर रंजन चौधरी जी और सारे मीडिया के मेरे दोस्तों, आज बड़ा खुशी का दिन हमको लगा कि डेमोक्रेसी की जीत हो गई, संविधान की जीत हो गई। सत्यमेव जयते जो हमारा नेशनल सिंबल के नीचे लिखा हुआ रहता है वो उसका जीत आज हुआ है। इसलिए हम सारे लोग खुश हैं, शायद आप भी खुश होंगे, क्योंकि हमेशा ऐसा होता है कि हमारी बातें कभी नेगेटिव में ही जाते हैं, थोड़ा सा पॉजिटिव भी रहता है। तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला, उसके तहत, और मैं तहे दिल से सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसले का स्वागत करता हूं। अभी संविधान जिंदा है, बाकी है और न्याय मिल सकता है, ये इसका एक बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है। संविधान, लोकतंत्र और भारत के आम लोगों की ये जीत हो गई है। सिर्फ राहुल गांधी जी का जीत नहीं है, सारे भारत के जनता की जीत है और डेमोक्रेसी की जीत है और संविधान के उसूलों की जीत है। इसीलिए एक बहुत बड़ा फायदा देश के लोगों को हुआ है। जो एक व्यक्ति लड़ता है सच्चाई के लिए, देश के हित के लिए और देश को मजबूती लाने के लिए, देश के युवाओं के लिए, देश में जो महंगाई बढ़ रही है, महंगाई के खिलाफ जो व्यक्ति लड़ते और लोगों को जागृत करते करते कन्याकुमारी से लेकर कश्मीर तक 4000 किलोमीटर से भी ज्यादा चल के गरीबों से मिले, बच्चों से मिले, डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर, सभी लोगों से मिले और आज मैं समझता हूँ उन सब की दुआएं हमारे साथ है। इसीलिए ये लोगों का जीत है, मैं ये कह सकता हूँ। और ये तो लोकतंत्र की जीत गूंजेगी और राहुल गांधी जी को हटाने में, डिस्क्वालीफाई करने में सिर्फ 24 घंटे में सब कुछ हुआ। अब देखेंगे अब कितने घंटे में उनको रीइंस्टेट करते हैं, क्योंकि डिस्क्वालीफाई करने के लिए तो उनको टाइम ही नहीं आया। जजमेंट गुजरात, ये तो दिल्ली का जजमेंट है, बहुत आस्था नजदीक है बहुत ही। अब गुजरात से आने आया जो ये था, उसको उन्होंने 24 घंटे लगा के उसमें सब डिस्क्वालीफाई करे, बाकी सारी चीजें करे, बाहर निकाले, सब कुछ हुआ। लेकिन दिल्ली के सुप्रीम कोर्ट और हमारा जो पार्लियामेंट है, हार्डली ये सिर्फ किलोमीटरों पे है, तो वो तो 1500 से 600 किलोमीटर था। तो इसलिए मैं चाहता हूँ कि शायद रात में वो रीइंस्टेट करते हैं, क्या अभी करते हैं, कितना वक्त लेते हैं, हमको अब देखना चाहिए। हम देखेंगे और इंतज़ार करेंगे। अब इतना बड़ा इंतज़ार किए तो ये जो बाकी उनके ऑर्डर का भी हम इंतज़ार करेंगे। और मोदी सरकार को और बीजेपी लोगों को थोड़ा, अरे भाई हम क्या गलती किए, ये करना नहीं था, ऐसा तो थोड़ा लगा होगा। चाहे वो मन में ही बोलते होंगे या बाहर बोलने को थोड़ा कष्ट होता होगा, लेकिन मैं उस पर टिप्पणी नहीं करना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि अभी आगे हमारा लड़ाई जारी रहने वाला है। तो इसलिए मैं इतना ही कहूँगा कि ये लोगों की जीत है, वोटरों की जीत है और वायनाड के नागरिकों की और वोटर की ये जीत है। वहाँ के लोग भी बड़े खुश हैं और वायनाड के लोग जीत से अब सब जगह ये अपनी जीत मना रहे हैं। तो मैं ज़्यादा न बोलते हुए बाकी के डिटेल में सिंघवी साहब बोलेंगे और चौधरी साहब भी बोलेंगे और राहुल गांधी जी भी एक दो शब्द कहेंगे। तो इतना कह के मैं आपको यही कहूँगा कि आप भी हमारे साथ कभी कभी खड़े होते हैं, इसीलिए आप सबको भी नमस्कार और दो शब्द कहने के लिए मैं उनसे
शुक्रिया खड़गे जी। मैं राहुल जी से गुजारिश करूंगा क्योंकि वो हमारे बीच में मौजूद हैं, वो कुछ शब्द आपके सामने रखें। राहुल जी के बाद सिंघवी साहब और अधीर रंजन जी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करें।
थैंक यू खारगे जी, आप सबका यहाँ बहुत बहुत स्वागत। आज नहीं तो कल, कल नहीं तो परसों सच्चाई की जीत होती है। मगर जो भी हो, मेरा रास्ता तो क्लियर है। मुझे क्या करना है, मेरा क्या काम है, उसके बारे में मेरे दिमाग में बिल्कुल क्लैरिटी है। जिन लोगों ने हमारी मदद की और जनता ने जो प्यार और सपोर्ट दिया, उसके लिए मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ। थैंक यू।
शुक्रिया राहुल जी, शुक्रिया खड़गे जी।
थैंक यू। क्या
विक्ट्री साइन, विक्ट्री साइन।
अच्छा मैं करता हूँ तो अध्यक्ष।
Statement from Mallikarjun Kharge. We'll have to wait to take a deeper dive into the Congress's reaction. He was, of course, accompanied on stage by senior Congress lawyer, Congress leader Abhishek Manu Singhvi. He was there with him. We'll bring you more in terms of context. I actually believe we're going to have more of a reaction now.
दोस्तों, शुरू करें। थोड़ा दरवाज़ा बंद कर लीजिए और शुरू करें। शांत हो जाएं, पीछे वाला दरवाज़ा। जैसा कि हमेशा करते हैं, हिंदी इंग्लिश में करेंगे, थोड़ा सब्र रखें आप, संक्षिप्ति है।
शांत हो जाइए प्लीज, थोड़ा शांत हो जाइए।
दोस्तों, आज सत्य, साहस की जीत हुई है। ये केवल राहुल गांधी जी की जीत नहीं है, लोकतंत्र की जीत है, संविधान की जीत है और आम जनमानस की जीत है। हम आशा करते हैं अब कि भाजपा अपने एक विशेष विभाग जो है, जो कई खेल खेलता है, चालबाजी के और अन्य खेल, उस विभाग पे ताला लगाएगी। वो जो चीज़ें करते हैं जिससे विपक्ष के नेताओं को अनर्गल रूप से निशाना बनाया जाता है, उसको अब कुछ हद तक कम से कम थामेगी, अगर पूरी तरह से रोकती नहीं भी है तो। हम अब संसद में उत्सुकता से जनता से जुड़े मुद्दों पर श्री राहुल गांधी को और श्री राहुल गांधी की बुलंद आवाज सुनने के लिए तैयार हैं, उत्सुक हैं और मोदी सरकार को बुनियादी मुद्दों पे जवाबदेही बनाना, ये आप फिर से देखेंगे संसद के अंदर। संसद के बाहर तो ये प्रक्रिया चली रही थी। तो जैसा कि लोग कह रहे हैं, फिर से चलेगी सवालों की आंधी जब संसद में लौटेंगे राहुल गांधी। Friends, I am going to use words of studied moderation when I come to the actual issues. And since I have argued this matter, I am going to really summarize the 6, 7, 8 major issues on the merits for you without really expressing any opinion. But before that, I have to say what I have said partly in Hindi, that this entire country has heard, seen Rahul Gandhi in action, in and outside of Parliament. His actions, his speech, his thought process, his initiatives, his abhiyans.
My colleague Pallavi is with us. Pallavi, as our newsroom takes in what it is that senior Congress lawyer Abhishek Manu Singhvi has to say, he is providing legal perspective right now. Pallavi, the choice that Rahul Gandhi made to make a very, very short statement to the media, how do you see that choice?
Well, I mean, he was very crisp and he essentially repeated whatever he said in his press conference, in his tweet also. But I think, Toya, we really have to wait for the next few days. Chances are that he goes back to Wayanad, and if he's reinstated as a member of parliament, I think he's going to reserve his speech for inside the parliament. So there are going to be multiple occasions which he's certainly going to use to make his point against the Prime Minister and against the government. If he's reinstated as an MP, then if he can take part in a no-confidence motion, it's quite possible that he becomes one of the speakers from the Congress party. So that's one point. And as I said, his Bharat Jodo Yatra 2.0 begins sometime in the mid of September. Then of course he's going to be going to Mumbai in the first week of September for the India Alliance a third round of meet. And of course he's likely to go back to Wayanad, which is his constituency, but that's only after he's reinstated as a member of parliament. You haven't heard the last from Rahul Gandhi, but in that crisp bite, he essentially, what we were speaking about a short while back, captured the essence of the campaign, not just for him, but also of the Congress party for Lok Sabha elections 2024 and of course the important state elections as well. That the Congress stands for a fight against the BJP's idea of politics, which according to a Congress party, to use their words, is a politics of hatred, divisive in nature and of lies and misuse of institutions. Congress is going to pitch itself as a win, not just a legal win but a political win, or Satyameva Jayate. I think more than Rahul Gandhi, the words of the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge actually gave us an insight into what is it that's going to be the main catch line. One of course is that immediate reinstatement of Rahul Gandhi, but more than that, it's not a jeet only for Rahul Gandhi, it's a jeet or a victory for the entire Congress party and the true politics of India.
Okay. Pallavi, thank you for that perspective. I'm going to ask you to stay with us. We're going to go back to the press conference where you have Abhishek Manu Singhvi.
Like unemployment, economic stagnation, farmers' issues, etc. Now friends, चूंकि जैसा मैंने कहा, मैंने इसकी दलील की थी उच्च न्यायालय में और उच्चतम न्यायालय में, तो मैं कोई ज़्यादा वैल्यू जजमेंट बिना दिए आपको संक्षिप्त में बताना चाहता हूं कि कितना अजीबोगरीब ये संदर्भ था, जिसमें एक 100 वर्ष से ज़्यादा, 125 वर्ष से ज़्यादा पुरानी राजनीतिक पार्टी के पूर्व अध्यक्ष को दुनिया के सबसे बड़े गणतंत्र से एक प्रकार से इफेक्टिवली, जब तक कि वो कन्विक्शन एक्विटल न बने, निष्कासित कर दिया था राजनीतिक जीवन से, जहां तक संसद का राजनीतिक जीवन का सवाल है। और मैं उसी रूप में आपके सामने वो 6-7 मुद्दे संक्षिप्त में बिंदु के हिसाब से वर्णित करूंगा, जिसके आधार